Righty-ho. If you haven't seen or heard chat of why I'm looking like this is, I mean, it's really funny because if I just thought it didn't turn around, you might just think I was trying some really weird hairstyles. But this is basically one of those this is the sleep curling thing I said I was going to put in last night. But wait a minute, I just need to check the sound. The sound should be fine though. And I just never took it out. And then my day's just like, I did think yesterday, I thought, where am I going to have a window to put my makeup on and do my hair? Like, do you know what I mean? I did think, and I thought that's when I thought if I don't find it, it's fine. So, which thing about it, some people would think that was a really big deal. I just don't really give a shit. Especially when I tend to find when I'm doing two live streams in a row like that with these big long ones, especially because that was 6 hours in a row. It was 3 hours and then it was 3 hours. Yeah, I think I'm always probably going to do something like this. So, um, I'll just check you can hear me. Like that. Yeah. So we can hear me. So I will just do the bits and bobs before people arrive. My energy is sort of calming down a bit. It was very excitable when I was doing the ones. It was just very, like I said, very galactic codes that were coming in. And if you look at the thumbnail, because that's all you can look at if you're not a membership. But the thumbnail was that very Avatar galactic one, Ether and Matter from that very new Earthy deck. And it's about being a bridge. No, wait a minute, that's the Blu-ray one. Anyway, Bridge Between Dimensions is the other one. But it's just very much what I'm feeling. And it was the card that was on the floor last night that I put in the community tab was about twin flame unions that are coming about and you're going to be working together, which, isn't everyone. Because it can just be for some people, you will do better in whatever your skill, talent, profession is because you've got the support and the love of your person in your actual life. But for others, it's you are working together. Oh, here it is. Here's one I prepared earlier. Partnership, joining forces with business partnerships for win-win cooperation. Prioritize your connections. I can see how for some people as well, and this is what's so cool about when I do this. That is Aquarius energy. That is the 11th house. So before I get really deep into all of this, if you've never seen me do this before, first and foremost, I don't say this to put people off because I was explaining to someone earlier. It's basically if you've never watched me before, there might be a message for you, there might not. You'll only find out if you watch. But I'm a twin flame shaman, a twin flame healer, and what I mean by that is like the only people I attract that actually, work with me, like, pay me for sessions are twin flames. Like the whole decade I've been doing this, and it'll be 11 years in public next year. So, it just makes sense that's where I'm going to channel most of my energy because this is who actually, does book with me, keeps my business going. But like I said, that can be really rough because not everybody is a twin flame. And, yeah, and that's why, from time to time when I'm guided to, I do put the feelers out to see whether I'm going to be attracting people that aren't on the twin flame journey. And it's so funny because even when I do that, I end up finding somebody that is on the twin flame journey, like in a random place. So, and lots of you that are tuning in will know what I mean because, that might have been. But again, there are a few people that find me through other different things. And like I said, you're more than welcome. And it might just be you get bored of when I'm doing these really long-winded checking in on the signs energies, which by the way, I don't do these every month because they are so intensive. What I've been tending to do is month on, 1 month off. So the way it's working with Christmas, I'll end doing these on the 12th with Libra, and then I'll pick it back up again at some point. In fact, I could tell you exactly when. I'll pick it back up in January with Scorpio on the 12th of January. Yes. Oh, I remember that because it's my nana's birthday. So, you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not like finishing and then going straight on. So because like if you really resonate with the messages, if you go back and check what I said like last month, like who's got time to do that, right? Although it's interesting, and especially because it's me too. Although I know I'm just putting myself out of the way to deliver the message, unless I really felt guided to for myself or for someone I'm helping, I'm not going to be doing that, right? Tomorrow when I'm off, if I'm bored and there's nothing on telly, I might, but I don't think so. I can just tell by the thumbnail. Do you know what I mean? So I think what I'll do is, without me watching it, I'll just probably I'll either link at the end screen, although I'm not very good at doing that. I do remember, I do try it when I remember, and I really should because that helps my watch time. But um, I'll link like that last, well, 2 months ago's one at the end if you want to watch it. But you can really just scroll back and see. So this is Aquarius, so you could go back to the Aquarius one that I done at the end of August and see if it's a similar kind of theme. Now I've got no idea because I didn't like check in advance. Um, but so far I've done Scorpio and Sagittarius and Capricorn now, and I did for Scorpios. Yeah, they look all the same. Like it was the same energy. Um, for the ones I've done. So it means that like what I channeled a couple of months ago, like you could it could be actually happening now. And then the same with what I'm channeling now might not happen to be happening to you now or to your twin flame now, but this could be what they're going through as soon as next month or January or February. It really just depends. Um, we'll just see. So, but yeah, so you've all got Aquarius somewhere, you've all got 11th house. 11th house is networking, and that's what that's talking about, because I think for other people as well that's about collaborations, finding people of like-minded, growing your community, all that kind of stuff. I'm not a very good example of that, right? Because it's quite funny, like a lot of people will see me as like very bubbly and sociable, and like I said, I'm better at that online than offline, really. Like a networking event in person, fucking drop me out, no way. You know what I mean? Like no thanks. Like a psychic fair or something. Couldn't think it that no, that'd be my worst nightmare. I mean, but anyway, I'm just don't ask me. But I'm just very sensitive, and I can protect my energy better behind the screen here. So, but I will do in-person stuff when I'm guided to. I have done it before in the past, but I just didn't like it very much. I done a hen do once, and I just would never ever do that again because quite clearly we're all pissed, and quite rightly so. But it doesn't work because I don't. I personally never. I'm very against. I don't mix. Well, I don't drink most of the time anyway, unless this year's not a good example. It's not like I've drank a lot if you're new, but I usually drink like once a year, and I've drank three separate occasions now. But like basically, yeah, I never ever drink and do anything like that. Like I wouldn't do a live stream, even having a tiny bit of drink. I'm very serious about stuff like that. So if ever I've got like, say it's been a family member's birthday or something during the week, I would just basically not, and people are having a wee drink in that. It just worked out. It was quite well when it was my dad's birthday and it was during the week. I'd done something the night before and I wasn't working the next day and all of that. But that's how like I do take it really seriously. And then that's why I'm saying over Christmas, if I want to have a wee drink, I might because it's my holiday anyway and I don't take time off a lot. Um, but yeah, but so I'm not a good example of that because very rarely will you see me doing an interview with someone. I've over the past 10, 11 years, I've been asked by a few people to do podcasts and talks and that about twin flames. And I know someone that, well, it'll be more than some people, but one of the last people that asked me to do that, um, I'd initially said yeah, and then I just was freaking out and I was like, no. And there were very valid reasons for that, and it's so I will if I'm open to do this, I will maybe change my mind about that. But I've done it ages ago. But I just not. I don't know. It's maybe a bit awkward. Do you know what I mean? But maybe just with the face, with the way things are right now. Anyway, I don't think it's. I don't fancy that chat. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but no, but like I'd said before, I mean, I'll be talking to people I've worked with and stuff when I run the challenge, which if you missed what we done last night, at the end of last night, I'm going to be running the free Fuck It Let's Go challenge on Monday the 15th of December to Friday the 19th of December, and then that'll be that was going to be my last day working with sessions, but actually now the last day will be the 12th of December. So that's again another month's break. So if you're looking for a personal session, that's the God's honest truth. Unless, to be completely transparent, I think I might have the 23rd open too, but I might easily just block that off because do you know what I mean? If I'm really tired after the challenge, and especially if it goes well and I've got loads of bookings and stuff, I'll be like, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? In Christmas mode already. Um, but yeah, so it means that my last personal Zooms with people will be the 12th of December, and I probably won't be back to personal sessions until the 12th of. Actually, it won't even be the 12th, it'll be the 13th of January because it'll be the Tuesday. But I'll be back to mediumship Monday on the 13th. But actually, I think I'm going to be back on the 5th of January. Like, I'll probably start live streams on the 5th. And then, but I don't know. If somebody's needing a session that soon, and I mean, there's no reason why not to. I just don't want to lock myself into saying I'm coming back that soon because cannot stand January usually. But if I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. I felt, pretty fresh last year because I didn't drink, and you know what I mean? It was all, I just, it's taken a while for me to disassociate New Year's Eve and Christmas with hangovers because for so much of my life, I was always pissed. So, a lot of the time I'd go out on New Year's Eve and I wasn't really feeling human again until like the fourth or the fifth, you know what I mean? And then I was having to go back to work. So, I mean, that's why I don't really like it. But anyway, big Aquarius themes coming into this already. So, and I hope somebody comes on because I'm going to be bored if I. But I mean, I'm just flying on whatever crazy energy is about today, and then I'm going to be tired after it. But it's fine because I'm waiting for Tani's going to get back and tell me what suits her. But I'd suggested I think I'll probably have the session with Tani on Thursday, and I just need to tomorrow off to just gather my energy after all this randomness. Um, but yeah. So yeah, there's not really a lot of if tomorrow is already Wednesday. I think it looks like because Tani's in Australia, I'm just explaining this if anyone else is wanting a session. She's wanting morning, so I think, I'll see what Tani says back, but I think I'll have availability, yeah, most of Thursday, because I'll probably I'll probably finish with Tani no later than lunchtime or something, because it'll get really late and I can't spend forever anyway. But um so yeah, I would have room for somebody else. I don't often really like to have two people in one day, but because there's not really, time's just going to go and then there's going to be no room because I don't want to work. Just now, I don't fancy Friday because of all the energy I've put out, but don't like Pisces moon. But again, if Friday suits you, just let me know. If you're somebody that I've worked with loads before, then it's fine. As long as sometimes what I'll do is like, do you mind if I let you know in the morning how I'm feeling? Most people are okay with that, do you know what I mean? But only because it's Pisces moon, because I can sometimes just be really just a space cadet, just kind of out of it. But you might think I'm like that all the time, but I'm not. I'm actually very grounded and very. But I know. Oh my God, this is just sorry. This hairdo's really making me laugh. I can't make my mind up whether to take it out on this and see what it looks like, or just fucking leave it now. Like have a bath after this, leave it, and see what it looks like tomorrow. But if this looks good, I'm gonna be mad because, like, I'm just gonna have to like drag myself up to film something because otherwise I've wasted the curls. But but this is quite handy. I'd get used to see me wearing this more. It's I'm loving it. With this short do, I'm loving it. It's a happy accident. That's what we call serendipity. Right, so I put in the title, I've put cosmic heart connections, follow your dharma, missing each other, separation ending, because the cards I pulled before I came on here are um cosmic heart source, source of all, true home, just be, heart connection. So when I tie that together with the wee extended one that I done after public, like I said, with that ether and matter card coming out, where it does look very avatar, they're both looking at each other. It feels like, you really are connecting at that very deeper level at the cosmic heart. And again, that is kind of very Venusian, very, divine feminine energies that I connect with all the time. So maybe you really resonate with that too. But it feels like very Christ consciousness, unity consciousness kind of energy. And it feels like the masculine really feeling that too. And of course, if you're true twin flames anyway, you'll always feel that. And that's why to toot my horn, like, I am a good example of that because, it's I can just teach you through my own experience and helping all these other thousands of twin flames. I have a good idea what the masculine, male, and female goes through because that is the majority of the time who I'm always helping get into their feminine energy. But as a divine feminine, I have always felt this like insane telepathy and strong connection on such a deep level. I don't know how people can't know who their twin flame is. If you are a twin flame, I don't understand that. And that's why it has quite frankly fucked me off over yeah, pretty much the 10 years. Yeah, it is 10 years. The times I've been on social media when someone's so fucking adamant about it And then it turns out they made a mistake and then not just owning it back again. I don't know what to go on about that again, but it's probably because Aquarius 11th house is the internet. It's I always think people have wasted really big teaching opportunities, and it would be embarrassing, it would be all of that, but it's kind of like, I think it's more embarrassing to kind of backtrack and all that kind of shit. But that's why I'm confident about when I say it. It's like it's not going to change. I'm not going to start being like, oh, actually, my twin flame's birthday is like the 5th of January. He's a Capricorn. They'd be like, but hang on, a Claire. I thought his birthday was November. I thought he was a Scorpio. Do you know what I mean? Um, but right, so anyway, moving on. So let's get the thumbnail. And this says, I miss you. I miss talking. Oh, this card annoys me too because it makes absolutely no sense to me because we did not do this. Apart from like once when I was drunk and I was upset and he did stay on the phone for ages calming me down. But um which is weird because literally that's like the only time we ever done that, the whole time we've known each other. I miss talking to you. That's why sometimes we can talk for hours in person or on the phone. I don't want our time together to end, no matter how it seems to you. Although I would be bold and say, I'm pretty sure whenever mine spent time with me, it did seem to be having a good time. And I just mean in a very innocent way. When we were talking in the morning and connecting, I did get that feeling he wanted to stay longer, and I always wanted him to, and he, fucked off. But I did, you know what I mean? I think it was the awkward kind of, oh, you're not really meant to do this with your. We'll just say friends with benefits because all the other words are a little bit. Well, it's no worse than anything else I say. Anyway, but yes, this person is missing you. You're missing your person. Dharma unfolding, dwell cool. Remember that you're in a path one step at a time to happiness. So it's different for every people, for every person. So separation is not the end. So if you're in a twin flame separation, which if you're a twin flame and you're watching this, it's more than likely that you are. Now, either you're newer to the journey. Hello, Sisha Hall. Are you new? Are you brand new? Or have you watched a while? Um, or, there are some people that you are with your twin flame, so you'll know who you are. But the interesting thing is I pulled free will. The path you take is up to you. And I think that's just really it's kind of like where I was going with that. It's like you might be in separation. And that's because I don't believe in free will as much. But anyway, to a certain extent, I do. Not getting on that topic. I just think it's a cool thing that everyone say, oh, yeah, this person's got free will. I think with certain things you do, I think there's certain things it's predestined. But it's what I really take from this is you might be twin flames with somebody, but you don't have any say over what they do with their life, just as they don't have any say over what you do with your life. And with true twin flames, there is a respect there. You might not like it. You might hate the fact, I don't like the hate word, but you might hate the fact you're not with them and they're with someone else, or you're both stuck with someone else, whatever the deal is there. But, it's there, I feel they're getting across the point here that um it felt like when I pulled the message, it was like the masculine is missing you, guided to follow their dharma, feeling this connection more than ever, and just a connection in general to this Christ consciousness, this universal love. That was the card that came up for either the video film for today or the video yesterday. And they don't need to go in the direction of you. They could follow their path wherever, but the divine feminine is the masculine's dharma. That's the way that I'm getting the message. So let's wait a minute. I'm sure I'll get a better thumbnail than that. Um yeah, I'll just stop at that. Twin flame, Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp, Leo, Virgo. Right, okay. Welcome. Have you just found us in the algorithm or have you been following for a while? I'm going to put in the bits and bobs for people on the replay. Um, so what I usually do on these, if any of my members come on, I will do their 15-minute new moon cards because, and I think that's just Lexi and I think Renee, but I'm just remembering it. I'm pretty sure it is Thanksgiving today. So happy Thanksgiving. I said on the shorts that it'll go out in a couple of hours as well. But I hadn't really remembered. I mean, it's not, that is an American thing, so it's not something we celebrate, but happy Thanksgiving if you do. Um, I'm sure it's the 25th, or is it something different like it's, you know how like Easter moves about and that? Does it move about? I think it is the 25th. Um, Right. I think it is the 25th. Uh, so, for those of you that aren't a member, or if you've already had your cards and you need something extra, this is a link where you can donate. Sometimes I have 30 minutes, sometimes I have. Why did it hide that? How are you? I'm good, thanks. Thanks for asking. Um, and I asked how you're doing, didn't I? I usually do just right away, be like, how are you doing? Um, Right, so I usually put in like the option for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minute message, or you can use the inbuilt button and donate whatever, and I'll pull you a couple of cards, usually at the end, so that doesn't kind of interrupt the main message. But sometimes I do, it doesn't really matter, I'll just pull it whenever. Um, but tonight I've just put 15 minutes for the biggest one that I'm willing to do because I done a lot yesterday. I've been go go go. My brain, because like I said, I'm doing lots of stuff to do with business and that just now as well. Just sorting out stuff that I should have done ages ago. And I've studied all of this loads before, but you know, if you don't refresh your mind about the shit at the back end of business and that, you forget it. So, and also it's just great because God works in mysterious ways, like uh the way I'm being connected to people that need my help anyway, or people I need help. Um, But yeah, let's crack on with this. And then that is the general booking link. So remember, if you're brand new just now, I'm just warning people, I will honour it for the rest of the year that if you've never had a session before, so basically if you've never had a video call before ever, or you're brand new and you obviously wouldn't have had one. So I'm talking, you could have followed me for years, but you never had a video call. You could book that too, as long as we've never had a video call. Um, I've kept that in my old price of the 144, but I'm got a funny feeling that although it's cute because it's 144, I kind of feel uh, when it moves into next year that I might do away with that, right? Because it's, yeah, I don't really know anybody that does. I mean, I don't do things the way other people do it, but so it might stay there. But yeah, I'm just feeling like I want to say that there's definitely going to be a price increase, so like just a wee one with some things. But Um, so yeah, I'm just warning people. I don't think on some of the packages there won't be. I'll keep them the same because I only put those prices up and not that. Well, actually, it was a while ago too, um, but yeah. And so, like I say as well, if it's needed, if I know you and I trust you and I like you, I'm only joking. But yeah, if I know you and I trust you, you can't be a total random. If you need to break up the payment, I can do that. But all I'll say is that be mindful that I get a fee. So I'm not, I don't split it up in any, I prefer it be two payments, but if it needs to be split into three payments, especially if it's an individual session, um, that's obviously going to be better. And yeah, for those of you that are members as well, just so that everyone knows that, like members already get, second level members get a 15% discount off, which I'm saying I don't know, I'm going to keep that. We'll see how that goes, but that might, if I take that away, then I would do something that was another perk, but I don't know. I think that works just now. Um, but same with that, because you're already getting the discount, um, if you need to split the payment up too, I can absolutely do that, especially because with Christmas and that, I understand. But yeah, I wouldn't be splitting that up any more than two, just for what I've said, because I get the fees everything, and then it's like if you're already getting the discount, it's kind of none of that's making sense. And I always end up shooting myself in the foot. And what I would teach other people is, um, you know it's Christmas for me too, and I've got to pay my bills, so you can't. So you can't. You've got there's you can negotiate and be fair about it, but I feel that's fair. So yeah, just because someone had reminded me of that earlier, I'm just sort of saying that across the board for everyone. And like I said, I don't do split payment for brand new people because I don't know who you are. You could do a runner. It's happened to me before. But if you've chatted in the chat and stuff and money's an issue for you, and I know you a wee bit like that I could see a bit more leeway with that, but I think that's just sensible. Because like I said, some people wouldn't fucking do that at all. But that's not really the shamanic way, you know what I mean? Right, so it's not the clear way anyway. So Um, let's set this wee thing. I'll put 2 hours and how I will celebrate. I'll come back Thursday. That's what I've put. Shite at thinking of things to put in that. If YouTube wasn't being so unfair about it, I would have been putting fun things in, like, you'll win a free 15-minute reading, but they told me I'm not allowed to do that, so no idea why. What is the difference between what I'm doing with that and yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Everyone does it. Weird. Um, right, I think that's all the bits and bobs, so let's crack on because this can take ages. Um, as you will see if you've never seen me do this. Right, so the first cards I do are to, and I better stop, I'm going to stop drinking that because then I'll need to pee and I just can't be bothered. Like, I can't be bothered getting up and stopping and all this stuff. So, um, this is to identify who the divine feminine is, who the divine masculine is, and that can be a whole group of people. Sorry, I've got my hot water bottle because it's cold, but well, it's okay just now. I've put the heater on full and then the window's open, so it kind of feels a nice temperature, but I just thought it's still going to hurt to have the hot water bottle. Um, oh, that's that card again. Right, this is to identify the divine feminine who can actually be male or female. And also, I'm assuming because you were talking back, can you hear me all right? There's not a lot of difference between the laptop mic and my microphone. It's just because the battery isn't quite, it's nearly 80% now. I probably could put in. I'm just going to actually check what the sound is like. What is the difference between what I'm doing with that? Yeah, it's not a whole lot of difference. It's a wee bit sharper, but there's any point. I'll just keep the charger in just now. Um, right. Like I said, if any of my members come on and they can't hang around for the whole thing, then I will stop and do their cards. Right. Otherwise, it drags on. It's the next new moon before you know it. So what have we got? This is to identify the divine feminine, male or female, and it can be the masculine's feelings, feminine side, receptive energy too, and it can be for a whole group of people. Might be yours, it might not. Just listen in. Artist. So you could quite simply, you could be an artist. Now that could be painting, drawing, crafting. I don't know why crafting came, but that so maybe someone is. Um, it could be that you are a creator. I never refer to myself as a creator, but yeah, you could be like a creator. You could be on like social media. Um, however you do your art. You could be a singer, a dancer, blah 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 blah. We get the gist. Also, before I started this, the song that was on was "One More Time, We're Gonna Celebrate." And that's actually one of my best friend's favourite songs. But or it was when we were younger anyway, so that I'm just mentioning it because it's going round my head and I just paused it and I've just unpaused it. So Daft Punk one more time. But it could be like, it's connected to this, like you're gonna have one more time, like, there's I take it to be your last life because I always say that like this is my last life, and that's why it doesn't matter what age I'm literally here. Like I'm a very old soul, and I've always felt that, and a lot of twin flames do feel that, unless you're one of the ones that doesn't. But I feel it's like you came back for like one more round for one more time to see if you could get this right, and if to see if you could beat the sabotage, the karmic tricks and illusions and get to one another. It's like running the gauntlet. So only time will tell if you able to do that. um, expressing a dimension. It's like I always say, the Adjustment Bureau is what reminds me of my own personal twin flame journey and the twin flame journey in general. I've always loved that. Um, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Yeah, so I feel if you're the feminine energy, I feel you are a storyteller of some type because like all shamans, in my opinion, are storytellers, but I'm a big storyteller of true stories, I always add, because Sagittarius energy is about that as well, and I'm a Sag moon conjunct my South Node. So you'll notice I tell a lot of divine true love stories about past lives. And that is because the South Node is about past lives. My moon conjuncts the South Node and Uranus. So I'm very galactic, but very and that's what I always say when I stop to do people's individual cards, but even these collective ones, people say what they've said the whole time, people, if you're really connected to me, like people feel energy moving, like they feel like things happening at their head and, energy lifting and all the time things happen where if someone's got a headache, the headache goes while they're watching, they've got a sore stomach, the sore stomach goes while they're watching. I can't tell you how many people, their kids have been, I mean, that one's always awkward because I'm like, please have your headbuds in if you're listening to me because I swear so much. But if somebody is actually saying my kid's there, then I'll rein it in. But technically speaking, this is not a children's channel. I have got a children's channel. I've just abandoned it. I'll pick it up again at some point because I've got a background in working with children. So, if you need to book, yeah, from listening to me. And again, that doesn't surprise me or anyone that's worked with me before because, oh, chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Oh, that's never happened before. Oh, drama. Very Aquarius moon because it's to do with the internet. Mercury retrograde too. Um, yeah, whenever I worked in nurseries and children's hospitals and all that jazz, like yeah, people would swap me the rooms that I worked in that all the time because I would be able to put the kids to sleep like that. And that was long before training officially in any of this stuff. So that they're getting me to say that because that's a good indication that you've come in here with these past life gifts and you're remembering them. Now you might be led to go and learn this stuff formally, but you're just remembering. That's what awakening is. Um, but yeah, I really do feel me going on that much about that. The feminine energies that are going to connect with this. I feel you are, like I said, you're an artist. I feel that does quite literally. I've worked with loads of artists in all these different fields, actually. Singers, dancers, painters, drawers, you know what I mean? Writers, poetry, loads of people that do poetry. Yeah, my gift is helping you find yours. I see it in people's chart. So if you've not actually came to me saying, "Oh, this is what I do," I'll tell you before you tell me. I'll see it in your chart. It's your soul's blueprint. Um, but and also I will say this that I've had a lot of people this year, but really that I get people saying this like the whole decade I've been doing it. That it doesn't really matter, even if you've had your chart read by somebody else, and especially if they do it like the very textbook. Which again, I've got a lot of respect for people that have learned that way and read all the books and everything like that. But that ain't my way. Like my past life gift just flooded in a channel that I'm very Mayan, very galactic astrology. And although I'm mostly pretty up to date with it, sometimes, if I haven't kind of looked what's going on, again, that's very rarely, I'll find that, like, and especially if I'm doing these, I'll channel the energy and then I'll see what I was channeling after it and then I'll probably put in the comments. And I just love it that way. Like, I love that it's so random and it just floods in because that's true channeling. And basically, um, yeah, but I've had a few people say this year that it's like, I've had sessions with this person, that person, and but they didn't see what you saw, and like I got a lot more from you. Like I've had loads of people say things like that. So again, it's like, but I would say it like, it's like anything, it can be good to go to different people for different things, and even people in the same field, but. I'm quite proud of that. Like, it's actually, there's a part in my chart that says, uh, that I will have my own niche in something, which I do think is what I do, because I do this many things. Like I said, I never meet anybody that does all the things that I do. I did more recently, actually, I did connect with somebody that she did do quite a few of the things I do, but the difference was like, it wasn't even half as much experience. So, you know what I mean? Even when I see people like that, it's very rare that I meet somebody that does lots of the same things that I do, and they've been doing it since they were, well, a long time. Because like I'm only 41, and so I started this like at, just after 30. So, but even then, I had been learning all this stuff like since a really young teenager. Like I collected all my cards since I was like 14, 15. You know what I mean? So Little did I know I was collecting the stuff for my work. It's quite funny, isn't it? It never fucking stops because I could never have enough cards. Um, but right, okay, so I really do feel with the fact that I got all of that from that one artist card, right? That's how important this is. That this divine feminine group, you're very like me in that way. Now you don't need to be, a healer or, reading cards or anything like that. You could be any of these other things, whatever an artist is to you. But I feel you're very passionate about what you do. And it can be inspiring others to follow their calling and stuff. Like I've said on the one earlier. I'm weirdly, really, it's not weirdly or not weirdly, I'm really good at helping people make money and coming at like, I'll be, because think about it, right? If people were smart about this, and I'm not saying people aren't, but I'm just sort of pointing out to you, if people were smart about this, it doesn't really matter if you're not interested in astrology and mediumship and all that kind of stuff. I'm a hypnotherapist. As long as you trust me, if you've got a problem, like a common one is people have got addictions like smoking, gambling, sex, you name it, whatever you've got an addiction in social media. Come in, as long as you're vulnerable enough to come and tell me what your issue is. I can do some hypnotherapy on you, and like so. For instance, for smoking, generally speaking, they'll say you need 4 sessions of hypnotherapy to get over that. I've had people get over that and they see me once, already saving you big bucks. Do you know what I mean? And especially because I don't sit with people I sit with people for ages. And that's why I get fast results. And that's what you're paying for. So again, there's just stress. Again, that's what you're paying for. And that's why they're saying my prices do need to be higher because I'm saving people so much money alone in therapy and stuff when they're working with me. Because even Denise said it earlier, like it feels like therapy. She's only had 1 session with me, by the way. I mean, we're having a session tomorrow or the next. I don't think it's tomorrow, Thursday or Friday, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not paying these people to say that. I'm not making enough money to do that. Seriously. Nowhere fucking near it. That's why I have to show up and show you what I'm good at. So, because it's a mystery. I'm a bit too much of a high priestess. It's a bit of a mystery. So I feel it could be similar. Like what I'm saying is, if you have got a fear of being seen, or you need to be more visible, I can help you with that privately. I've helped people in groups with that before, and that's what it might end up being a little bit like on the challenge. But if I've got some people that like learning in groups, and I've got some people that love chatting in the chat, and I've got some people that are like, I like just talking to you one to one, or I like just watching you, and I don't want to chat. This you do you, boo. You know what I mean? I'm the same. Like when I have got time and I'm not doing the full on like one off, and fucking sleeping. When I'm not sleeping, I'm doing this, or I'm working with a client. When I watch people that I like, um, yeah, like I said before, I don't, there's nobody that I watch all their stuff. Like, there's somebody that I only can't, when they're live, I watch their live stuff and I watch their shorts, and then I don't tend to watch any else. And then there's other people where I'll maybe watch all their videos because they're shorter. You'll get what I'm saying. Like, some of you only watch my shorts and you don't watch these big long live streams. Some of you only watch the live streams and you don't watch the shorts. Hardly anyone fucking watches pre-recorded videos to the point where I'm like, do people still want me to do them? Like, actually, you could genuinely say in the comment, I might do a poll of, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a poll of what do you actually watch? Because the stats say it's the shorts by a long shot. And a lot of like YouTube experts in that, which by the way, I'm a bit of that myself. It might not look like it, but I've studied it for so long. I do know a lot about it. Um, they'll all tell you that, shorts it's kind of pointless, but I liked it. I like doing the shorts, and I'd done it. I jumped on that before anyone, not before anyone else, but I jumped on it as soon as they put it out. I didn't wait. And what's quite unfair about it is, they didn't take off right away either. But now, some of them are starting to like. I'm quite a bit like some of them are getting like, over 1,000 views in that. And it was never like that before. So even that is kind of, interesting that it's turned a corner there. But even that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you're getting 1,000 views. If none of these 1,000 people that are watching it are buying in, and I mean, it's great, it's helping people. But this is what I always need to look at that for myself. But you need to look at it too. If you're an artist or a business or something, it's got to work for you too. And you'll notice I just addressed that very Capricorn stuff at the start there. That there's things I can do to be reasonable, but I can't cut off my own, you know. I can't, yeah, I can't sort of like leave myself. in a shitty position to help other people. Because I already do that. I already turn up and help people for free all the time. So anyway, just, that's a lot of stuff that's come out, but I'd imagine if you're in that collective, you will hear what I'm saying. So, what if we oh, there's the masculine energy. So warrior, yeah, warrior often does come out for the masculine energy. Um, now, the trouble is I'm going to read both bits because I think I get what they're saying. Now, I'm wondering, I don't know if yous are just mesmerized by what I'm saying right now, or whether people can still talk in the chat because of that weird thing that said disconnected, connected. But um, actually, maybe I should check that because I've never seen that before. Nah, it is working, it's fine. It's just this is a shit time. People are working, they're feeding their kids. You know what I mean? It's usually later, but I'm going to be like going down like a lead balloon later. Do you know what I mean? I mean, what time is it? Like 6:15. It would be good if I was getting off here about 8. I don't think there's any need to be on here any later than 8, but that's only 2 hours away. Half 8, whatever. Um, Basically, that came out reverse. Trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to suffering inflicted on others. I basically think it's like, to kind of the modern version of what I think that means is I think when the masculine, male or female, was in distorted energy, I think you could have been more analytical, logical, and chose what was sensible rather and practical rather than what your heart was telling you to do. And all I would say about that is it's usually when people are disassociated, through some type of trauma, you've cut your real feelings off, your true, deeper feelings to protect yourself. That isn't your fault. You've done it for a reason. Every person does it. Like, other people will say different. Like there's some people that claim they've had literally like no trauma or no childhood trauma. And I'm like, I just think that's the biggest load of bullshit. School is childhood trauma, full stop. I mean, we have to ask for permission to go to the toilet and we're trapped in a building for like what, 6 or 8 hours. That's basically jail. Like, I'm not the first person to say that, but it is true. Face it. This is very Aquarius because it's about freedom. Like, I just don't, yeah, I hated school when I was there and I suppose it's a good job I haven't got kids because I wouldn't be wanting them at school right now. So that's just my stance on it. But it's, yeah, you need to know your rights and stuff. With the way the world is just now, yeah, I would just be clued up on all of that. You know what I mean? I can see why a lot of people do homeschool. Actually, we've got a lot of people in the Soul family that went that way, especially if you've got more kind of sensitive children with, challenges or difficulties or superpowers like I've got myself, like dyslexia, dyspraxia, or whatever, all different types of things, ADHD. If the, especially if your child isn't getting the attention they need. But anyway, so strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. That is where I feel, wherever the masculine was, I feel a lot of this collective like you're also getting followed to follow your highest calling, and a lot of your highest calling matches up in partnership with your twin flame. And it feels like wherever the masculine didn't get that before, or they didn't have the visions, or they didn't see how they fit into your life, it's excuse the pun, but they can crystal clearly see that, and it feels even quite excited about it and stuff like that. And I feel a lot of masculines actually step back to sort of let you do your thing. Like, God knows what my fucking fault when I started doing this, because I did start doing it so long ago. I just fucked off of my personal social media and I popped up as Crystal Clear Visions on the Facebook Live. And him and anyone else was just kind of like, what the fuck? I don't know. We never spoke about it, so I really don't know. But all I can say is every man in their dog found my channel because it was suggesting me to folk because someday we'd find it so it's even if you didn't want to see it, it probably showed you. And I learned that too because like Connor lives further away now, but when he lived, I think when he was living in Edinburgh, I showed up in the algorithm, and that always scared me because I was like, oh my God, if I have showed up in the algorithm, um, whose other algorithms have I showed up with? Because he had no clue. I always think that's hilarious. Connor had no clue why I showed up because he didn't. He'll tell you himself, but I'm pretty sure he would say he didn't. He didn't follow anything like of the sort that he obviously just loved the banter. And then, and then he's, learned about a lot of stuff as he goes along and just, yeah, and amazing. And I've had a few sessions with Connor now and it's just, but even right away when we connected, um, soul family, you know what I mean? It's like all of you. If I've had a session with you, we've had one and it feels like about 10. That's how you know it's like, we're connected. But yeah, I really do feel, and actually, I'm not surprised I just mentioned Connor when I'm saying, because, Connor, when you watch this on replay, you are a warrior as well, but so are all of our divine masculine males and females. But I'm feeling that very strong. That's not a coincidence they made me say that. So, um, that's to identify. So, past and past lives, South Node issue, repeating pattern. So, this is a repeating pattern that you and your twin flame have been stuck in. So, if you're the divine feminine, masculine, male or female, God, sorry, it doesn't matter how many years I've been doing this. I confuse myself, but it's like I do like my way better. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I feel saying you could be the masculine or feminine, male or female. I think that makes it way clearer than like, masculine than other ways of explaining it. So I don't know if you kind of keep up with it, fine, but I get what it means. Um, but I really do feel I feel for some of the masculines. I feel understanding karmic returns. What you send out in the universe comes back. Be mindful of the energy. You'd see it because that just caught my eye, and I usually do the feminine first. I really do feel. Um, Divine masculine, male and females especially, you're being guided to like, just be careful what you're thinking about right now. Your thoughts are powerful. Thoughts do become things. And I'm not big on really plugging the law of attraction as much as what other people do. There is something to it, but it's not as simple as, how sometimes they make out. Like, um, yeah, basically. But I'm getting something about like it feels like a lot of masculine male and females, your go-to is to think the worst, to catastrophize and to yeah, basically to do that, to think the worst is going to happen and it's not. So I think there's a really strong message here about be careful what thoughts you're putting out there. Try to, I don't want to say think positive because we don't want to encourage toxic positivity, but there's a very strong message coming through here about um expecting the best, expecting a miracle, expecting a surprise, because um, Aquarius moon right now is expect unexpected. So whatever that means to people. So we'll see what else comes out. It just pulled my eyes in. So also the song that's on right now, I can't stand it. Just I don't know. I usually like his songs, but it really annoys me. Thinking out loud, Ed Sheeran. We found love right where we are. I think it's just because it was so. Oh God. I mean, there's other things I associate with it, but it was just so repetitive, like when it came out. But it wasn't number one for ages. So, but you never know, it might be somebody's song or something. Um, for the feminine, something where um you were stuck in a repeating South Node past life pattern, or past lives were coming up in the video for yesterday too. It's coming up again, or it was even today's one because I filmed that yesterday. Or you're out of it, but this is where you were stuck in the past. So only look at what oh my God. Might use this for the thumbnail. Look at what I'm going on about. Own your past. You can't rewrite the past, but you can change how it shapes you. Embrace your choices and let them become your wisdom. Now, this is the Divine Feminine's card, but what I always say if you're new, and you'll already heard me say it, but I have to repeat it over and over again so that you actually get what I mean when I say that, people that are new. This is also the masculine's feminine side. So this is also your receptive side, your feelings, your more vulnerable side. And look at the visual. It's a man looking into a broken mirror. And the song, Why Do You Have to Be So Complicated? Avril Lavigne just came on and it's number 31. So there's something about Hogmanay again, New Year's Eve, because there's not a 31st of November. So um I don't know why this is coming up. It'll be different for different people. For a few people that might be watching this, like I said, we've got a few birthdays. But other than Nathan, I don't think Tom's gonna be watching these ones unless he wants to come on a wee chat. But well, he might be. I don't know. But at some point, but it's kind of like I'm just because it's a man on the card there, I'm kind of really feeling like, some divine masculines, you might have set some kind of goal by, like by Christmas, this is where I want to be, or by like New Year's Eve, this is where I want to be, or, or I want to be with my divine feminine by this time, or I want to be feeling this way by this birthday, or, it doesn't need to be birthdays, Christmas, New Year, but it feels like for at least some, it's something like that. But wait a minute. I don't think it really goes with the title, does it? But that's for the feminine and the masculine side. Let's see. And there's just obviously a lot coming up about past lives. And I always associate past lives with Pisces, and Pisces moon is um like Friday, Saturday. I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, it's like a very sleepy, very mystical weekend. But like I said, the shadow side of that is please be careful if you've got addictions, or it's not even addictions, just like if you're out partying and that, it's that energy's like very confusing, and oh my God, it's just that's a fucking mess really. Because because of Mercury retrograde, because Mercury comes out of retrograde on like really it's 28th at 29th, and then um and Saturn going direct in Pisces and Pisces moon. That's all a bit of a clusterfuck, I think. So, really, it's my opinion on it. So, oh, oh my God, look at all those cards. Look at all those cards. And that was no word of a lie when I was saying I felt that for the masculine because it's come out again. So, they're just, I'm just the mouthpiece. They're just repeating what I said. So I'm not reading that card again because I just read it, but you're both mirroring each other, and there's a need to own your past. So this guy's looking in the mirror. So you can be a guy, you can be a gal, but this masculine energy is perhaps wherever you were avoiding looking at, especially when it comes to this connection, you're facing it head on. You're looking at the things you're not so proud of, you're looking at the things you're proud of, you're facing up to the things you need to face up to, the difficult things, any kind of trauma. We've all, like I said, we've all got it, things you need to work through that you might run away from. Um, and it says you can't rewrite your past, but you can change how it shapes you. Embrace your choices and let them become your wisdom. So clearly a big one for divine feminine and divine masculine. And this one leapt out with it. I was only going to be pulling one each. Release the soul burden. What you carry in silence shapes your path. Speak it, feel it, and finally let it go. And it does fit with the title. Follow your dharma. If you're a masculine energy, male or female, and even if you're a feminine that's still stuck with shitty pals, or like, dancing to the tune of what your family say is allowed, but you're an adult and you can make up your own decisions. Some people aren't doing that, and you're keeping quiet, and whether you're a man or a woman, I help people this all the time. Um, and basically there's just a huge energy about breaking free of karmic cycles. Um, But yeah, if you are choosing the karmic path, like and the thing is, a lot of masculine energies, male and female, you did choose the karmic path. You listened to the wrong friends, you listened to the wrong people, you listened to your family, and they had issues with whatever. Um, it's whoever it was, or you got pulled back to exes, or you thought someone was your twin flame and it's not, and it's this person. Whatever all the different things are, because it's different things for different people, but it's kind of samey, and it's kind of not with some people. Um, it feels like, a lot of you are, oh, this is so interesting because I don't know if this person I was speaking to recently will watch all of this or bits of it. But I had literally just said something like this to someone today, like well, anyway, so today and I spoke to someone else about it. There's a theme. I always notice a theme, and that's when, apart from it's good to have Zooms with people because it's business, it's good because I notice themes with this. I could, especially if I work with two people one day, I notice a theme, but people in a week. And the theme I've noticed is people exactly crystal clearly seeing what was a karmic lesson, and that it's, like it's like waking up from a spell. It's like I always say. I always use the example of Prince Eric and the Little Mermaid waking up from a spell before he marries the sea witch, Ursula. Um, It's that kind of vibe. You're being hypnotized, and it's like, how did I even get myself into this situation? And unfortunately, that example's, depending on which way you look at it, a good and a bad one, because some people did go that far. And if that happened to you, who knows, you were in that part of your life where you were meant to do that. And like I said, it's expensive if things have went that way, whether you're a man or a woman. But for some people, it's like, you're meant to have a family, you're meant to have children with people, and you're meant to learn your lessons that way. But whatever's happening, release the soul burden. It's time to speak up. That came up in the one earlier. The card, or did that come up in the membership? I pulled the card speak up somewhere. I don't know if it was in the membership after. Or not. No, I think it was in the one that's in public. The one that was going to be 5, 10 minutes and it was like an hour. But yeah, release the soul burden and own your past. So that's really strong though. It's like either you're still doing that and you're stuck in the past and you're not releasing the burden. That would be when people are stuck in the karmic things, listening to the karmic people. And we've all been karmic to someone too at certain points as well. Because I try not to call people a karmic. I know some people do, and it's fine, it's just preference, but I try to say karmic people or karmic person because I don't know, something feels a bit weird about calling somebody a karmic. But it's but anyway, it's like yeah, so you've either released the soul burden and you have faced your past and owned it, or that's what you're needing to do to get out the past and your comfort zone. So now this is the present energy, the North Node focus to get out your comfort zone. So for the feminine, I've picked up the ones that are about money and career and success. So this is the feminine and the masculine's feminine side. We have opportunity, new job opportunities, change of workplace or business trip, change is coming just in time. Oh, that's exciting because remember what I said about that partnership? Did I put that back? That partnership card. Changes are happening fast, and that's actually the one that the shorts that I've titled for tomorrow. I think that's what I titled it. It was specifically for the divine masculine for that, but it's that these things are changing fast for all of us. Um, definitely jump into your highest timeline vibes if you choose to answer the call. And that's what I help people with all the time. Um, but yeah, there's opportunities, Divine Feminine, especially in your work. So think about how that ties in with uh, looking out for different ways to do things. Because it's like I said, a lot of the things I was speaking about in the Mediumship Monday yesterday, it's either things I've done before, but I've just put them on the back burner for too long, or it's things I've wrote down ages ago and I haven't taken action on it. But like I said, I truly do believe when they were telling me when a lot of people watch that back, if you choose to, I think you'll have your own downloads and insights into whatever opportunities you need for your career, business, and that. And it would be great if you do seem to have lots of ideas when you're watching it. If you put in the comments and let us know. Don't tell us your ideas, because keep that to yourself. But let me know if you're like, oh my God, I did get all these, things coming to me, because that's what I mean about my frequency changes, energy and wakes energy up. I wake up dormant light codes and energy in people. Right, so the masculine is going with the flow right now, I'm hearing, and to get out of your comfort zone. So that's very clear to me, and this is totally where I'm at. Like, notice the opportunities because there's no such thing as luck. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So are you keeping your eyes open for those opportunities? Like for instance, so again, keeping it anonymous, but something that happened to me today, I was like learning something else about business and then connected with somebody that actually, although there's other things that we could connect on, it's like the person was really interested in what I do. Was like, oh, I'm really excited to go. She had other work to do, but she was like, I'm excited to check out your stuff. So, but I was being quite hesitant to even say. So this is what I mean. It's like, you just never know. That always teaches me, to not assume. You just don't know who's going to be on the twin flame journey and who's going to resonate. So it's but obviously God strategically placed me in the right place to for the right people to find me. So anyway, cryptic, isn't it? So closed doors, right? So make sense of what I'm saying. Masculine is closing doors on the karmic situations, the karmic partners, the karmic family in some cases, karmic jobs. It's over. No good job opportunities. The current job is coming to an end. Start all over again. But holy shit, can you see how that fits with even I'm like, this is so nuts. So, it's like that totally fits with a lot of divine masculines feeling bored and stagnant in whatever you do and getting visions and insights into like the empire you're meant to build with your divine feminine. And also the songs just came on Kanye West, All Falls Down. So that feels like a tower moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm sorry if that's the case, but it's kind of given the vibe of like, if you're a masculine, male or female, you might have found that money was all right, and then for some reason, like things are going totally tits up. That's called a tower moment in tarot. I'm sure you're all aware if you know the tarot. And say, let's get the tarot. Um, but it doesn't happen to you for no reason. Oh my God. And then I'm dropping them all. It doesn't happen to you for no reason. It happens because something's not right. It's like the card I pulled for Gretchen earlier was the crumbling, which is very like the tower moment in tarot. Um, it's breaking down because it was built on a faulty foundation. It's the kind of things where, like, something goes wrong and you find out someone isn't trustworthy. Like, let's go with the example of love. But, like, if something hadn't went wrong for you to find out that person was a shady fucker, you could have got stung even more, like monetary wise, or being made a fool of more. You know what I mean? So it is a blessing in disguise, things like that. Some people would rather, like, maybe not find out and live in ignorant bliss, but. Um, Yes, but that's not the people I'm tuning into because the Three of Wands just leapt out. Now, the Three of Wands is before the elusive Four of Wands, the Union card. So if you're new around here, whenever I see 18:4, that is my birthday numbers, or 418. Um, but I always link it to the Four of Wands because that is what it's linked to in the tarot. But also it makes sense to me because I'm here to usher in, the Union energy. Um, and Yeah, so progress, expansion, foresight, and opportunities. There's that word again, opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. This group of masculines are seeing the opportunities. So it feels like this group of masculines couldn't see how this was all going to come together, couldn't see how your worlds could fit. And something's changing all of a sudden. It's an awakening. That's what it feels like. Yes, suddenly seeing all the options. So this is the feminine's card now. I really do feel it's like you've got opportunities and options. Um, Oh my God, this has never happened yet. This is actually why I bought this deck. Oh my God, I fucking love this card. So, it's a Two of Cups. It's true love, it's a union, it's twin flames. It's given twin flames. I'm sorry, I need this for the thumbnail. I think I love this. I know why I love this, but I love it because it's really modern. But unfortunately, see what I don't forget anything. And whenever my twin flame kissed me, and I mean like he kissed me on the forehead, I always feel like that's more meaningful than it would just be like we're being funny if we were saying bye or that. But it was look, united love, partnership, mutual attraction. Isn't that just a beautiful card? But you know, that's a love worth fighting for, or it's a love worth waiting on. And I'm in the masculine energy right now, so I really feel this is them saying, let's hold it up. Come on, the delay is crazy. For fuck's sake, man. Get the whole. It goes small anyway when I'll lift it up a bit when I put the rest of the. Yeah, that's fine. Love it though. I'm really excited. That card doesn't come out, and I've had that. I've had not too long, but I've had them a while now. Oh, three wands again. Oh my God. The masculine and this is the third. The masculine and the feminine are getting the same cards. And also that song, Thank You Next, has just come on. That's the masculine breaking it off with the false karmic energies and seeing the that's what I'm getting from that. Right. Okay, so come on though, family. Come and join in. It's more fun when there's people chatting. So what karmic lessons are they learning? What needs to be released? Well, I think we already got the tea with the cards, but right, I'm tempted to go to these. Now, these cards can be a bit miserable and a bit kind of doom and gloom. I used them yesterday as well. It talks about past lives and stuff too. So, oh, wait a minute. I like to do the feminine first. What have we got? What's a karmic lesson the feminine or the masculine's feminine side might be learning? You might let it go, but let's see. Um, Breakthrough processing karmic debris. Yeah. So if you're the divine feminine, you've either worked through your karmic debris or your karmic list. So basically, for me, this would be like, if you had hidden enemies, frenemies, or family that were not supportive, or in anything in life, or in some cases, you can even have people that do with work or clients or that, like that are not not exactly who they're showing up. Or like I've said, the one that I always feel you should be aware of, especially because we're on Aquarius and that is about the internet. Like this is obviously a theme today, and especially it's because of all this Pisces energy with Saturn and Neptune going retrograde in Pisces, and then when these planets start going direct, because I mean it's starting as soon as this week, and then Neptune will be January, and then and then they'll both be in Aries, as next year begins, like pretty much in a few months, isn't it? I feel the truth will be seen about a lot of people where it's like, somebody could be portraying to be this one person in public, and then, actually, like, there's experiences that are vastly different that people have. So activating higher self. The feminine is activating the higher self, the feelings in the masculine. So, right, for the masculine. We have, I wasn't honest with you about my feelings at the time. So oh my God, we've just seen that, right? Because, like I said, I kind of told them, don't go into me stories, but it's kind of, I just can't help it. It is because, like I said, I'm a natural storyteller, but it's like, um, that is love, and I feel that's why Two of Cups is true love, but I feel that's why rather than it being like pure naked on, it's a guy kissing a woman on the forehead because it's kissing the third eye, and of course twin flames are extremely psychic telepathic love, and it's a softer kind of energy too, isn't it? Because although twin flames are very sexual and passion, and it's usually it is like all of that. If you don't feel like that about your twin flame, I don't get it's your twin flame. But it's kind of like that's the difference here. This collective are like, I now feel I want to look after this person. I want to care for this person. I want to protect them. That's what that card says. And yeah, I wasn't honest with you about my feelings at the time. So it's like this person might have never been honest with you about their feelings. Now, they could have just awakened to these deeper feelings now or whenever this comes about. Or this person could have felt like this for a really long time and hid it from you. Some people are really good at hiding stuff. Um, I still have dreams about you and our happy times together. So yeah, if that beautiful Two of Cups card is like, you know, very representative of like times in the past, this person thinks about those happy times all the time. It could be in some people's cases they've never felt like that with anyone else. Well, they wouldn't have felt like that with anyone else. Not exactly the same because it's not you. But even if somebody's felt like they've fallen in love with someone or that, it's like this person's like totally feeling the difference between it. Um, and we'll get some cards for the masculine. Yes, and that's what's part of their spiritual awakening. This is a bit of a standard joke. We used to say shaft or be shafted, but shift or be shifted, spiritual awakening. This person is 100% spiritual awakening. Oh my God, wait a minute. Where's that deck? I think that would be quite good. This person's spiritual awakening is like, oh my God, I'm in love. So, and now the Justin Timberlake, if I was your boyfriend, or if you were my girlfriend, I can never remember what it is. I treat you right. Oh, maybe he's like, and if you were my girlfriend, I'd treat you right. If it's either that or he's like, and if I was your but whatever, you can listen to yourself. You know the one I mean. He's a young pup in it, but that's indicating with those lyrics that somebody could be with somebody else. You know what I mean? So that could be the case, or it was in the past. Um, but either way, I feel when you take these opportunities, the two of you, to keep on rising and moving forward, great wealth has come your way. This is people's divine inheritance. You're moving towards real wealth and prosperity. Keep up the great work. But that's when you move towards what's exciting, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I worked out, on the Zoom, the people that were on the Zoom, well, the live stream that was on last night. Like, I was bored of the idea of doing that power animal workshop because the moment had passed. And then as soon as we got talking, I was like, wait a minute, this is everything I wrote down, like literally just a few nights ago. And then I stopped before I worked out the date. Well, I did. I had wrote the 15th, but it was just because I was like, oh, with that being Scorpio moon, I'm good with a lot of that, but not at the start. And anyway, we've worked out that it's worth it. So thank you for the people that were there. You'll know what I'm on about. But I got excited, and then Charlotte was getting excited. I'm excited. It's great to be excited about your work. There's nothing worse than being bored of what you're doing. I mean, I can't stand. And it's funny because in one way I can't stand being bored, but in another way, it was on one of my shamanic things I was on that actually boredom is a sign of enlightenment, believe it or not. Because if you're just happy sort of being in the boredom and you don't need to find things to distract yourself, then that, yeah, it's quite a sign of somebody that with a higher consciousness. And I can like stare out the window now. I'm quite happy doing nothing. But that's when you're at peace with yourself. Like I said, I've worked hard to be like that. Um, but um, there are other things I can think of where I don't like to be bored. Like I've got Venus and Aries. It's like so one thing I say it really bluntly, but it is true. I don't watch people online that are boring. Like I just don't. It's not like everyone I watch will be like, cracking a joke every 2 seconds or um I don't know, like, all about the making people laugh and stuff. Like, but there has to be something interesting. Like, for me to actually watch somebody like you're watching me right now, I have to be intrigued by them or I have to feel a real soul connection. But like I said, I can think of some people I watch where they're not cracking tons. It might be cracking a joke here and there, but that's not really what they're about. And by the way, that's not what I'm meant to be about. People do just tend to find me quite funny whenever like I always say, Connor said this to me, before, but so many people have said it to him over the whole time. Like, you should make that a thing. But seriously, if I tried to be funny, it wouldn't be funny. I think it's funny because I genuinely amn't meaning it. Sometimes I'll make the dad jokes here and there, but like, you know what I mean? Most of the time this is just me. Like, but if you know your astrology, Sag Moon is funny. It's banter and it's healing. We love to laugh and we love to make people laugh. Like again, my twin flame always used to say that to me, like, you're really funny in that. Like, do you mean he did used to laugh at me all the time? Like, I was more the one that cracks a joke than him, basically. Do you know what I mean? But it's not, I'm joking. He's always, but it's like, he always used to say that I was really funny. Which is quite funny because with some of our placements, I'm actually the more serious one and he's the playful one. But I need to just slow down because I need to plug in this mic. Um, right, we'll take that out and I'll put, so you might not hear me for a minute. Fuck's sake. There. And I'm I need to drink the tea again. I don't know. I don't need to yet. Let's just put that song in my head. If I was your girlfriend, if I was your boyfriend, my girlfriend. It must be girlfriend. No, I think it's like that. I think it was maybe his first song. I might be wrong with that. It was one of the first. Right, the brightness always goes down. It's quite annoying. And now put that away there. Right. Uh, Wait a minute. Double check because nobody's chatting. Don't want me talking, can't hear. Yeah. Right. So I'm just going to stop and drink some of this because I've been talking non-stop. Obviously, that's part of my job. That's why I need to rest my voice tomorrow. I'm going to lose it. But they don't. I very rarely lose. I can't remember the last time I lost my voice. I do protect my energy. Um, Shadow work. Right. Okay. Let's crack on this. It's a bit of a shame because I can kind of tell. I think it's going to be one of these things where like I'm just leaving and people arrive, but it is what it is. Right. So what have we got? Shadow work. Silent treatment. I wish I could take it back. So I wasn't really thinking too much, Usually I do the masculine, feminine side. But when I get to this bit, I think it's a bit of both. I feel if there's been I can't get the words out. So I feel you both might be a bit lost for words about how it even got to this point. Um, but I definitely feel the masculine is like that, right? Because I pulled silent treatment, but I actually pulled it in reverse. So I feel if this person has been silent for however long they've been, I mean, this could be years, this could be, God, this could be decades for some people, like, but it's like, I wish I could take it back. So whatever it is, so either like this person wishes they didn't go silent on you for as long as what they did, or maybe there's something else that this person wishes they could take back. Um, but I get emotional when I think of you. So it's just very, it is very much pointing to it. Like I'm done playing games. Like it's very much pointing towards whatever actions this person has taken in the past, like huge, big, regrets about that. I just saw secrets and deception as well. It was in reverse, but I feel whatever things are, are like that, and this is the shadows question. When this person does eventually come forward, it's just the same message keeps coming through for all the signs. I feel, I mean, really, that in my opinion, that is the only way true twin flames can move forward and have any chance of building whatever you had, however, however much, however far you got, because some of you didn't even get to be in a relationship for whatever reason. Maybe you're too young, or just, life didn't allow it at that point. But, even if you did get in a relationship, a lot of you don't usually get very long with. That's the thing. Like, I don't know what's worse, being apart from your twin flame for years and then eventually, once you've both done the healing, getting to be together, or having time with them, staying sort of stuck in a karmic cycle, and then needing to spend years apart after having been stuck even more in a trauma bond. It's not it's very fun, is it? We probably all choose the way that we've done it, is what I would say. But um, like most people, when you're asked, would you trade your life for someone else's? I can't say across the board that everyone's like no, but most people do be like, nah, I've lived the life I'm meant to live. I know that about me. Mine's is really unique. And I wouldn't change a thing, you know what I mean? I don't think there's any point in having regrets. And I said that last night too. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm glad that I've stood strong on my divine feminine stance and not like running off down soulmate avenue or kingdom spouse lane or oh yes, I'll just get with that guy around the corner because it's taking too long. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm having a bit of banter about it because I personally feel twin flames and kingdom spouse are the exact same thing. You're praying, and in my case, I pray and I fast for my own connection, but as you know, the community, if you connect with me, I'll keep you in mind, and I've done that for years. Feels because Mary Magdalene, Jesus are strong guides of mine. But and also again, I'm saying it, but I don't say exactly when I'm doing it. But just know that I do it, and I just get guided to do it at different times. But like that's kingdom spouse, you know what I mean? Like you're battling, it's spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual war. There's a literal war too, and especially when Saturn and Neptune get into the sign of war Aries, next year. We've already had a taste of it, but then it'll be like big time. Aries is a sign of change, beginnings. I mean, I'm an Aries. That's why I'm sitting here like Joan of Arc. You know what I mean? Like, I feel lost without you. So, yeah, this person really is. This is all happening in the shadows. This person feels lost without you, or this is the way they're eventually going to feel. You're the first person to make me feel this way. So, it feels like this masculine group are having a spiritual awakening. Like, they could be like, what the fuck is going on here? I feel like very annoyingly, I want to lean over to get these cards and these ones. I could do about leaning on my bladder like that, but right, what else is happening in the shadows for the feminine or the masculine feminine side? We've got have faith, feminine, and retreat. Yeah, so that actually came out in reverse. So have faith was in reverse, right? I've turned it around though, but I feel have faith, divine feminine, and retreat when you're guided to. So it could be as simple as like I've put a lot of energy out yesterday. I've put a lot of energy out today. Yesterday, just common fucking sense. I'll be knackered tomorrow. And it always sort of ends up that it ends up being a Wednesday. So, I will need to, I can do stuff tomorrow, but what would be wise is I don't do anything that uses my voice. So, that's why, although I was tempted to suggest to Tani that we do the session tomorrow, because I'm like, oh, I'll just be in my jammies. it's using my voice. So, you know, I have to think about it like as if I was guiding someone else. Not wise. Have the whole day, rest my voice, get back to Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And then Friday I'm off anyway. So I feel it's a bit something like that. If you pour a lot of energy out, pay attention to where do you need to retreat a bit. You know, have if you're losing a bit of faith, you know, speak to a friend, speak to a healer, speak to a counselor. If you're lucky enough, I might be your friend, healer, and counselor, and astrologer, and hypnotherapist, and you know all the different things that I do. But you're not getting to talk to me tomorrow. Unless you maybe are my friend, then maybe I could allow that. Oh fuck, I think I'm saying that for a reason. I think I was going to catch up with my friend on the phone. Two of them actually. So, strengthen your gifts. Yes, masculine, you are definitely being guided to strengthen your gifts and seek your hidden treasures. Whether you like it or not, I feel this ancient wisdom is awakening in you. It reminds me of the video. One of the videos I was on yesterday, right? When I clipped one of the shorts, I titled it Atlantean King's Awakening because I done Capricorn yesterday, and then the Capricorn one I noticed from a couple of months ago was titled Atlantean King's Awakening. And that's what it felt like because I kept going on about past lives. So although I didn't say it in that recorded video, that even actually, I've just realized something. I've got tons and tons of physical books, right? Because those of you that haven't heard this before, I'm very connected to Edgar Cayce. I'm surrounded in books. And I got through my Dark Night of the Soul by Audible, basically. Like I listened to tons of books when I was in that dark time, which is 10 years ago now. And that's what healed me. I just saw habits as well in reverse. So again, I do feel somebody's putting some kind of addiction behind them, or they did in the past. But yeah, I've got tons of physical books around me too, like fucking Matilda. Like I can't even shut my bedroom door; they're all piled up at the. I keep meaning to change that because I could easily put them somewhere else. But honestly, I've got so many, and my mum's always like, "Do you not want to, give some of them?" I'm like, "No, no, I might need that. You never know when I'm going." And I do feel like that about my books, but it's the worst thing about when I move because it's so heavy. And anyway, but we'll just deal with that when it comes. But yeah, just before I came on here, I did pick up one of the books that was about like hidden, lost things. Again, it's like I've never read it before, but it was probably very past lifey Atlantis kind of Lemuria kind of stuff. I just noticed it was drew my attention. It must be just purely to do this. I might get around to reading it, but I like to not read this stuff because then it just surprises me when it floods in. But because I'm saying this now, it's yeah. Let's see. It's all very much like, if you know anything to do with like past lives and like Dolores Cannon and that, like you know, that because for those of you who don't know that, like I'm a hypnotherapist, I do past life regression. I can also do things where I take you to the future as well. And that's what I was meaning by if you've got a business and you're wanting to sort of like, do I do this, do I go that way, or do I go this way? We could do something like that, and your own higher self will get insights into what way you're meant to go. So, that would take people being a wee bit more open minded. But I'd say that as most people that watch me. That how do I know who's watching kind of thing. But yeah, but the thing about Dolores Cannon was she always claimed she wasn't psychic or a channeler or that, and she was just a hypnotherapist. But I think she was being like massively humble there with that. But right, okay, so um, but there's one with what I'm saying is there's something on the playlist that I done with Lexi where I done a session like that, and I clipped a bit so that because I think it was a big long chat we had, but anyway, it's on the playlist if you watch the Soul Fam stories, and there's actually a bit where I'm just trying to think if she was in hypnosis, the clip that I showed, or it was after she came out of it. But it was quite interesting what her higher self brought through. And the thing is, although Lexi is very psychic and has been on my radar for ages, to give a different spin on it, you could be somebody that doesn't even believe in any of this. And as long as you trust me and you allow me to put you into that state, your higher self will come through with the goods too. So if you want to put this way, I said this before, but if anyone wants to do that session, because I'm not just saying this, that session will be a lot more money. That's the one that's definitely going up in price from as soon as January, maybe even before, but I think I'll leave it till January. when people do them, if you're willing to let me share like a wee 10, probably a 10-minute clip or a 15-minute clip, then, you know, I would either give you something extra or I would knock money off the price if you allow me to do that, because it's going to help all of us, you know. Because Lexi's higher self said something about the, you know, the currency being different. And I mean, so many people have had that, whether it's psychic people, channelers, or, you know, people that know they're, you know, just predicting things and that. And again, I've been saying for the past 10 years that the money system is completely going to change. And when the money system changes, I'll be somebody that a lot of people look to help them with it. And it's, I can see it's already happening that way, because I just, you know, we still need to, unfortunately, we still need to use money just now. But I'm looking forward to when it isn't like that. And I'm not talking about, you know, the dark side of it all. I'm talking about, yeah, however it's gonna work. I've always just had the vision that it's not gonna be how we've known it. Anyway, that's getting really deep, but it's true. It's very, very Aquarius. Because Aquarius, not coincidentally, is about seeing the future. And my moon in Sagittarius conjuncts Uranus, planet that rules Aquarius. So I am very future oriented. And you might be too if you've got conjunctions like that. I can look at that in your chart. Right. Like chatty mode is on fire today. It's just kind of like, you know, I don't know. I'm really going to need to rest my voice tomorrow. So, what would help? Oh, that Dex. We'll see. What would it help with inner union right now? I don't want to do that right now. What's going on subconsciously for the feminine and the masculine and feminine side? Breaking point, limit, final straw, overwhelm. But I've been saying, yeah, that is where a lot of divine feminines are. It's like it came out in reverse, so whatever that means to you. But I feel for the divine feminine, it's you're at a crossroads, you're at a breaking point, whatever you want to call it, and it's kind of like, right, this has been a long time. This silence has been too long. Silence treatment, silent, being in the dark, not knowing what's going on. Is this person ever going to talk to me again? Even as friends, let alone anything else. Like, what the fuck is going on, basically? Although I'd imagine alongside that, you do have a deep sense of trust, and especially if you know, you're very high priestess like and all that. It's kind of like, but either way, you know, it's going to piss you off either way. You know, it is fucking annoying. Let's be honest. But it's like, but you just have to keep working with the energy, being present, focusing on yourself. But I do feel this is a bit of a limit. It's a bit of a, you know, had about a fucking enough of this. And that's how you can feel towards a Mercury retrograde too. Well, the end of it, it's like I've had enough of this. And you'll see a lot of people will be like this week. And especially with Saturn going direct too, it's like I said, it's weird energy. It's a lot of communication can come in that's been delayed and stuff too. I'm sure most people know this, but yeah, I do feel the masculine though emotionally. And remember, this is in the subconscious. So, and because it was in reverse, like if you're divine feminine, male or female, you might not have had a bit of a breaking point. So it might all be bubbling away. And then you're going to have some kind of dream that triggers you and brings something up to the surface. Or it might be like me the other week there. Well, it wasn't even a week ago, was it? Where I knew I was going to cry, but it like took right until it got to late at night, and then I couldn't stop crying for about 2 or 3 hours, and then I felt great the next day because that's a release. That is a healthy release of something that was trapped, and I feel that was emotions that had been stuck for a long time. So I feel that's happened to some of you because it happened to me, so that I could explain what might be happening for some of you. But yeah, definitely for the masculine, same deal, exactly with what I just said. Emotionally, in the subconscious, you could also be having dreams, downloads, reaching your breaking point. I feel masculines reaching their breaking point in the conscious mind too, but we're just about to see. So conscious mind for the divine feminine, masculine's feminine side, broken, shattered, heartbroken, and destroyed. Not a coincidence. I just said what I said, and I was crying for 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, a lot of that was crying about, you know, I think the obvious, but I do feel and transmute collective energies too. So, you know, sometimes it can be hard to pick that apart, but a lot of it was my own stuff. And so I really do feel yeah, same deal. That's the masculine consciously. Oh yeah, because I did title this "You're Missing Each Other." So let's see what comes out in the conscious mind for the masculine. Sorry, fucking hell. Sorry to laugh, but look at them answering us. Hopeless, sinking despair, falling apart, divine masculine, yang energy, masculine energy. So, I mean, this actually kind of seems like the thumbnail now. I mean, I do want that. I mean, I do love that Two of Cups. I do love that Two of Cups, but it depends what makes more sense. What makes more sense? I love that too. Wait a minute, we're going to sneak that in. I would tie this together. It's like if you so basically the feminine's got heartbroken, destroyed, and whatever else it said, right? I think it said broken, didn't it? That was the main word, was broken. If you think the masculine's like, and remember, this is complicated because this is the conscious mind. For most people that are going to resonate with this, whenever it catches up, and it might be right now, that is how they're feeling. But the complicated thing is, a lot of masculine male and female might not be showing that to other people, but they consciously do feel hopeless about this situation. And that makes sense if there's been a huge silence and they've left you in the dark and they've chose other people, or they've chose their work to put their work to be more important. We Belong Together, Mariah Carey's just came on 24th as well. Christmas Eve is significant. 24th of no, no, Christmas Eve, because 24th of November's just passed, yeah. So that's crazy, isn't it, when it gets to that point, just passed. So it might be that the 24th was significant, that's just passed. Especially because it's this conjunction energy with the Mercury and the Venus. Especially actually, because that's what could put you into that. So actually, I feel this today, Mercury conjunct Venus and Scorpio, bringing up deep emotions, purging, transmuting, but that can a good opportunity for alchemy. Like, sorry, I'm just laughing. And I've just forgot that's the video where I met somebody on holiday. It looked exactly like that guy. I don't know what that actor's called, but he's in something I didn't watch, but it just made me laugh. That was when I was really young. Yeah, like this group of masculines are not having a good time. Like the feminine's heartbroken, the masculine's hopeless. So basically, you are missing each other. It's exactly what I put in the title. So despite what it might look like on the surface, you are both missing each other. And I think the difference would be this person is kind of like finding it very hard to do whatever they were doing before to ignore those feelings that are really there all the time. It's just they're normally, not normally, but they can be very subconscious and very buried. They're not now because this is coming up in the conscious. So, although it's not a smiling moment, is it? But yeah, I just thought that was funny that I said divine masculine and they answered. Well, it's not funny, the energy, but um, oh yeah, that would be good if I don't go out the shot. Fuck, leaving the fucking cards about and everything. Um, yes, boom, go Claire. Right, okay, so you've got to hype yourself up, guys. Right, so um, for inner union, we're nearly at the end of this, so hopefully if people don't come on, fine. I think it was just to save me hanging around longer than what's needed. Um, what would help with inner union for the feminine or the masculine's feminine side? Memories like the corner of my mind. Make wonderful memories with your loved ones. So it's just Mercury retrograde vibes. It's the past, memories of the past are flooding you. Your intuition is bugging you about lots of different things. You're becoming more intuitive. Take note of your thoughts and feelings. So again, a lot of the time, feminine, male, and females, you already are incredibly intuitive because you're the one that has been, you know, I don't always I don't always like to say more aware of this connection because the masculine can be aware of it just as aware, but in their own different way. Um, but you're more aware and conscious of it and willing to go there, is what I would say. and they're not because they're running away. So they might know, but they're running away. So that's a bit of a simplified version of the twin flame journey. But you're becoming more intuitive. Take note of your thoughts and feelings and your memories. And that more feels like the masculine and feminine side for inner union. To balance your feelings, divine masculine, male and female. Develop your intuition more, and don't ignore the memories. Like I feel that's people's trauma too. Like these past memories, past lives, memories with you and your twin flame, whether it's past lives or in the past, or dreams, visions, nightmares in some cases. Like it's all coming up for you to look at. Your intuition is nudging you, screaming at you, bugging you, whatever words you want to use. Right. So, like again, I know I mentioned Total Recall on the last live stream, but it's coming to me again because right before the wife is revealed as being like the double agent, he's having dreams about the twin flame. We'll just call her, and it's not about it, but I mean, it is that kind of vibe. And he doesn't know, he's not met the girl in the physical, or so he thinks. And then, but because he's been dreaming about this random girl that's not his wife, and they're doing all this kind of, I don't know, whatever it is, shooting and guns and, like try to save each other. He's like, what the fuck? And then when he wakes up and he's like, oh, and then, the fake wife is like, oh, honey, what's going on? You know what I mean? Kind of. And he's like, oh, I've just had a bad dream. And he doesn't tell her what it's about, kind of thing. And then though, when whatever happens in where he bumps into the twin flame, first of all, he instantly is like, that's a chick from a dream. That's what he's thinking. And that's why it is a good example for what happens. There's so many films that are a good example, but that one seems to be the one that's coming through this week. Guidance. You're being encouraged to ask your angels for guidance on your current situation. I think that's why they gave me it, because it's like sleeping with the enemy as well, like for obvious reasons. In Total Recall, the wife, the double agent, she's not, his memory isn't what he thinks it is. And, he starts to then get the memory back. But, like, she's trying to kill him at some points, like, and like, in Sleeping with the Enemy, oh, it's a great film, but it's a horrible film at the same time. And oh my god, I haven't mentioned that one for a long time. I might say Sleeping with the Enemy, but when I actually go on about the film, that worries me, because I've actually helped people that have been in similar, too many people that have been in similar, like, dangerous, toxic situations where you have to get away from them and you have to start a whole new life. But obviously that's more rare, but I have helped quite too many people with that over the years. And these are the reviews where I always say there won't be reviews, even if it was like 5-10 years ago and stuff, because it's like not 10 years ago, it'd be more like 5-8 years ago, like for different people. Yeah, I have got some though that people have wrote things that's anonymous and it's ages ago now. So I might put that in because it's come up, but it concerns me because I feel, unfortunately, I'm tuning in with some of you that I've got toxic exes. Yeah, I don't like the word toxic, but when they give me it, I have to say it. But and the reason I don't like it is because when people act like really toxic, basically, or not nice, like they've got their own shit and their own trauma. But some people, it has to be described as toxic. Like, if you know what I mean, people aren't paying attention to your boundaries, being unnecessarily nasty, lying and gossiping, and that's But my first thought always is like, how fucking traumatized must that person be to like sit and hate on people that either they know or they don't know. I know mixtures of both men and women that do stuff like this. It's just, but um anyway, I'm sure we all do. If you don't, then you're lucky. But it's kind of like, yeah, in that, if you've never seen it, it's creepy. There's a big creepy bit of music where it's like, when they were married, he used to play this really creepy classical music, and he must have had OCD about the cans, and all the cans had to be straight and the label facing forward and all of that. So then when she gets away from him, I think this is the right way, or it might be that she likes some straight and no, I think it's he liked them all a certain way. And so there's a horrible, spoiler alert if you don't want to know this, there's a horrible scene where when she's got away and she's got to safety, and he finds her and he's crept into her house, and she's getting on with the neighbor. That's actually, that film's famous for making, well, not, I think the song was already famous, but from when I watched it, from when I was younger, like, my brown-eyed girl, ooh, you are brown, you know what I mean? So everyone loves that song. But there's a bit when she's dancing with a really nice guy that, when she meets him, she tries to keep her distance because, so they're just telling me, see, I just trust when I'm going on like this, it's for a reason. So I'm saying she, but this could be about men as well that have been around toxic women or same-sex couples. But she's basically, when she moves to this new place and changes her name and has a whole new life and new identity, she's very cautious because she fancies the neighbor, but she keeps her distance. It's very like that other film I always forget the name of, Safe Haven, but I remembered it. I don't know what's going on where I sometimes can't remember the name of those two films, Total Recall and Safe Haven, but both Safe Haven and Sleep with the Enemy and Total Recall, these are all films with abusive, toxic exes that are dangerous in some cases, extremely. So, take note of that. Like, make sure you're protecting your energy, keep them safe, whatever this is all about. Oh, fuck. That might be why they got me to pick up that it's a toxic deck. I don't like using that every time, but I did wonder they made me put it there. But yeah, it's a horrible scene where he's put that music on and she's just kind of like, she knows instantly he's in the house. And then she thinks, oh, it must have just rolled onto that itself. And then she goes to, the first thing she does is she goes to check the cupboards and they're all perfectly straight and it's just so creepy. And then she like messes them all up because she's like, oh, I'm imagining it. But then she opens all the other ones and they're all, oh my God, it's so creepy. And that song is just creepy. I can hear it now. It's just creepy, creepy, creepy. A creepy film. The guy's just creepy as fuck too. It's a great film, but it's horrible because it's like he's so abusive and she has to fake her own death and swim away to safety. Quite an extreme case. Hope nobody's having to do that, but I'm not even going to make jokes about it, guys, because yeah, like it's yeah, it's this is how real it is, and some of you know that, like it's so, but yeah, so again, sincerely hope nobody is in a situation like that, but pay attention, kind of thing. That it's like where are these? Bye. We're not going to give weirdos. Um, it's quite funny because, like, I don't get. I mean, I don't want to tempt fate, but I don't get. I don't get people coming on and talking shite. Like, I don't get trolls, but I mean, it's quite entertaining when we do. But I'm not asking for a load of them. But it's look, the thing about Aquarius Moon is great because it's very galactic and it's anything goes, surprises, shock surprises. The one thing I don't like about it is anytime, this hasn't happened for years, but when I used to go a walk on the beach on an Aquarius Moon, there was 2 or 3 times, I think it was 3 times, I met like weird men on the beach, and I mean weird men. Like there was one man tried to follow me home. I mean, what he was trying. I mean, it's not funny. It really scared me. I was really shaken up and angry. My dad was fucking raging. My dad sometimes forgets what age he is, and he was like wanting to go down and find. This was quite a few years ago now, but it was fucking horrible. So yeah, I rarely go a walk on the beach, especially if the light's going on an Aquarius moon actually, and I'm not fucking kidding because I can see where it fits in my chart. Weird shit, man. Astrology is real. You need to know the bits in your chart where it's no wise to be walking about your own, even in daylight. Because when that happened, it was daylight, but with two of the time, it was daylight all of the times. But one of the time, it was like the weather went funny and it got dark and it got creepy, and I don't know, really demons showing up as fucking people. But anyway, moving on. So yeah, Lord knows why that's coming up. But all I know is you're being encouraged to ask your angels for guidance on your current situation. If you are in a toxic, abusive situation like that, by all means, if you feel like you resonate with me, reach out, book a session. But the obvious, and I don't say this very often, but the obvious thing to do would be make sure you're getting support from the relevant services, however helpful they are. I don't know. But, keep yourself safe. This, to be honest, this might be some. Oh, fuck, I need that. This might be some people that need to get a restraining order on stalkers and stuff like that. Like people that aren't leaving you alone, your boundaries and stuff. So it would need to be somebody that is. This isn't just like online stalking or gang stalking or, this must be somebody that's got no shame, that's like, hounding your phone or, following you places, or, this is something that's a wee bit more serious and picking up on, because they don't get me to talk about those films all together at once for no reason. And actually, shit, more than the Aquarius moon, it's actually Mercury conjunct Venus and Scorpio right now. I did say this in one of their videos. This is hot energy, but if you're dealing with people that are like that, it is stalkers and stuff like that. Oh my god, look. Oh my god, guys, I'm so. Oh my god. I'm lost for words. Genuinely lost for words. Remember, this is entertainment, but that is two cards decks together, okay? Two card decks together. This is usually the shit that comes out in the Pisces or the Scorpio's moon. Pisces moon is the one I'm going to be doing on Thursday, so come back and I'll probably be using this deck again. Look at everything I just said, right? No facts, never has the facts, make shit up lies. So I feel this is somebody's toxic ex, or it could be a toxic friend or something like that, but somebody that's like that talks shit, doesn't fit, there's no reasoning. This feels like a narcissist. This is somebody that would go to any length to badmouth you, lie about you, make you look like you're the problem and they're the problem. It's people that they will do everything they can to get everyone on their side and make you look like you're crazy. And if you've been in that situation, a lot of people, sadly, the victim chooses to just walk away, move somewhere else, or I'll just not have any friends for a while because I'd rather have real friends and people that are following the bullies and all that kind of shit. Oh, whatever, however it fits. But that's not the creepiest bit. Psycho, crazy ex, obsessed, won't let go. It gets worse. What did I just mention? Now, I said different services and stuff that might be able to help you. I don't know how often they'd be able to help you. What I was meaning was quite clearly the police, and that was what I was thinking of. But also, I was thinking of things like women's shelters and stuff, police station. I think this is somebody that's had to get a restraining order on somebody that might be lying about you or stalking you, or and again, this could be somebody you set boundaries like, I don't want you to have my number. How did you get my number? I don't want you to come to my door. How are you at my door? I don't want you to be turning up where I am with my pals. How are you here? It's so whether this is like a girl doing this to a guy or a guy doing this to a girl, it can happen either way. And Venus conjunct Mercury and Scorpio, it would be dark stuff like this. It's obsession, it's stalking, very dark stuff. And I really sincerely, I pray for anyone that this is. I just hope this is making sense to no one. But it's a bit of a warning that well, Christ, I suppose it's a bit of a warning to people if you're, it's not funny, but if you've got a bit of an unhealthy obsession that you need to go get some help with, you know what I mean? It's like, that's actually fucking unbelievable that. But it's got to be true. Everybody knows that. If you're new, you'll get a bit like, everybody knows this. God and the guides and the loved ones and spirit speak through me. That's come through for a reason. Even if it's just one person, if you've been gaslighting yourself, lot of cards, two decks, no fact came out again. Shuffled came out again. Yeah. No facts, never has the facts, make shit up, lies. Drama starter in reverse. So this might be behind somebody. I'm getting a really horrible feeling. I don't know if this card's back up. I'm getting a horrible feeling that somebody like somebody could be lying and like twisting things, and maybe like the people like so manipulative that like either a majority of people aren't seeing that through the lies and believing them over the innocent party, or like the police are not believing the person that's telling the truth and believing the liar, or um but I don't feel, see if that's the case, if this is somebody already happened, I think the person that's lying is going to be in for a really rude awakening very soon. And that's why I always say that, like, well, this is really serious stuff that's coming through, but with anything, it's so not worth it. Like, nobody's an angel, but try where possible to live in integrity. That integrity is my favourite word alongside hope, but it's because it's like And that's why I always say that thing about if you can try to be as close to what you are in private as you are in public, then I think that's really great because you're living your truth, you're in alignment, and it shouldn't be too vastly different. Because some people I catch sometimes some people saying like, oh, your online presence is different from who you are in person. Like mine isn't. You know what I mean? The only difference is if you're expecting people all singing and dancing and cartwheeling and all of that, like I'm less like that. It depends on what I mean. I'm more chill and not quiet. I'll still be a chatterbox depending on my mood, but um I'm more Scorpio rising, than the Leo midheaven that you see on here. But whoever's been talking shit and it came out twice, they're going to wish they didn't do it. I think it's because it's going to be very embarrassing. I mean, that's embarrassing anyway if somebody's like stalking somebody to the point where they've had to get a restraining order, but it's like, this ain't funny, whatever I'm picking up on. Played out, had to play out. The karma had to play out. We got the taboo, we got the caught a case card, which can be STI of the physical kind, or it can be spiritually transmitted diseases, like someone's got a demon. I mean, that sounds like what I'm fucking channeling here. Moving. It's got moving boxes. Hooked. Oh my god, I'm tapping the fuck out. Everyone knows this. It starts to freak me out, and that card's peeking out again. No facts. This feels like somebody, whoever, whatever group member, and remember, this is so kind of homing in on, like, for some, whatever reason, someone must be in danger, or I'm telling what happened in the past. Somebody was so under beer goggles, love goggles, whatever, couldn't see that someone was a bit unhinged. And it's like whatever has triggered the person to show their true colors, and that they're stalking obsessed. And I'm feeling like the person that's been freaked out by what would oh my god. Yeah. It's like I was feeling the masculine feeling like that, and this is the person that done it. Bad reputation. So it kind of might be something like where I feel like if you're this person, a lot of people try to tell you, or a lot of your person's friends tried to tell them, I've heard things about them. I wouldn't try. And it's like these people weren't well, it is gossip, but that feels like gossip that's helpful, like a warning. It's like people tried to tell you about this person, you didn't listen. Like they were so manipulative. They were a femme fatale. They lured you in. Well, you could have fucking caught a lot more than fucking bad luck by the cards again. Who knows who that's for? And again, it's kind of like it more feel. I'm feeling it's like this person's like I'm almost seeing things like the X. This person's fucking Ted's turning right. You know what I mean? It's crazy different energy. Someone just switched up on you and went mental, played out, and it had to play out. And now no wonder the masculine's like, no more hen, it's over, rejected. But this person's like, um, I'm done. I'm going to shuffle these, see if Femme Fatale comes out. I'm tapping out of this. I'm actually going to burn the sage. This is like somebody's got an entity. Somebody's got a really negative attachment. Um, it's like beyond unhinged karmic energy I'm picking up on here. So this is clearly, hopefully, not everybody deals with stuff that dark, but and although that's a woman that says bad reputation, you've seen people in the chat before. This could be like a toxic man ex, maybe even someone you married, doesn't need to be, but with a lot of people, it is like we've got a lot of females, unfortunately, that have dealt with a lot of crazy guys like that, and and then God, if there's kids involved, yeah, because that's what I think actually when I'm channeling that bit, I could see that, that it's like some men and women are so manipulative and so comfortable at lying. Not everyone could see through people like that. It's fucking scary. That's my superpower. It's really frustrating when I can see that somebody's like not who they say they are. Whether it's like what I'm saying in public, they're one persona, and then behind the scenes, quite different. And sometimes it can take a while for the mask to slip. But if people haven't done the shadow work and the shadow integration, oh, that mask slips. Trust me. I've been on the receiving end of that many a time with men and women over the years. I feel a man North Node and Gemini in the eighth house. It's obviously part of my fucking destiny, but I mean, I hope it's not for the rest of my life. I have to fucking be on the receiving end of shit like that because it's fucking draining and it's not even funny. Like when I go through unsettling things, I then have to take fucking time to heal myself and do soul retrieval and depending on how bad it fucking is. But I get it. I can handle it. I've signed up for it and it's to warn other people. I shouldn't have to point that out. Not everyone is to be trusted. Don't be naive. Take off the don't idolize people. I see a lot of people don't idolize people. I've fallen into that trap before as well. Nobody's perfect, but sometimes it can be worse than nobody's perfect. Maybe they're not exactly what they seem. They love their own demons as well. So make sure you're not, thinking the sun shines out of someone's arse kind of thing. I think, Judge. Oh my God, Judge. That's what I mean. I would really appreciate if this is so kind of hardcore that you don't want to leave it on the that you don't want to leave the someone might have a power animal that's a killer whale. I don't know if you even know that, but I keep the killer whale keeps coming up on the telly when I'm talking. I'm just mentioning like yin yang sort of energy too. But it's like if this felt like it was your story that's happening now, or even God forbid, future stuff, or the past. I feel it's a lot of people's past. I'd appreciate if you don't want to book a session, like, but I feel you need something with someone to help you with the complex trauma that I think you've been left with. That's why it's coming through. But um just go and send me a wee email. It'd be like, unfortunately, that made a lot of sense to me. Like that, I would really appreciate it. And I might say, oh, I did get an email, but I'll keep it anonymous as always. But it just helps me to know because I can just feel it really, really strongly. It is just that kind of energy. Like it is like all these films, like that guy, she falls in love with him, marries him, and then he just becomes really controlling and he's that bad, she has to fake her own death and run away. And then what's the other one actually? The more recent one. Oh, the more recent one. Oh my God. Because people know I don't know how many times I watched it, but I only watched it on it was actually funnily enough, it was New Year's Day this year that I watched It Ends With Us. And so everyone that's been around for ages has heard me say this about a million times, but sorry if you haven't. Brilliant film. There's all the controversy around, the actors are arguing. And actually, oh my God, that's really clever. Because Blake Lively, for a while, she was trying to jump on the bandwagon of the Me Too and all that kind of shit. And people were believing her. And it's quite clearly overwhelming. I mean, I knew that right from, I think everyone did. Not everyone did, but I could see through it that she's been lying through her teeth about him. She's clearly fancied him and made up this bullshit to, but I mean, she did try to, she take up my court in that, but she's just been, actually, this is so funny. That's like what I've channeled. She's just embarrassed herself and she's embarrassed her husband and she's embarrassed, like, her whole fucking probably family because she was lying. And I'm just like, that is people with a screw loose. Imagine taking somebody all the way to court and you know that you're lying. Those are the type of people I'm the most afraid of because that is like, that's seriously, that's worrying. Like, you know what I mean? But what's not right about this stuff too is like, I've dealt with loads of people where actually you're in the right and you're innocent, but and actually, there's some people that watch that, you love, sadly, you'll have had experiences like this, or you'll know people where it's like, um, there are some people that if you're getting in trouble all the time or that and you're having to go to court, those people are more comfortable in that environment than you if you're not. And that's why it's to be aware of too. That can be quite dangerous. That's what I'm saying about it. I don't know how helpful the police are in situations like this. Like I could actually even imagine if there was a stalker girl bothering a guy. I don't know how seriously they actually take that unless it is like next level, you know. But they would, what I mean? You would think if it was I mean, God, I don't want to go too deep into that, but once it was long enough ago, like I had somebody like they were, so yeah, this was a few years ago, but they were fixing something. So obviously they had my number to fix something. And this isn't the funny things are going about, like when someone tries their luck at that. I've had things like that, things I can handle. But this what and it was weird because it was a Scorpio moon, and long story short, it was like the guy texted me saying, "Oh yeah, thanks," and then he started talking about things that weren't to do with what he'd been fixing, and I'm like, right, okay, the guy's obviously trying to chat me up, and so I was just, I spoke back to him, and I think, it's just when people catch you at the wrong times. But and like, remember I said I don't talk to people like that. Oh my God, the Mercury and Scorpio is making me go really deep here. But I don't talk to people like that. I don't talk to guys like that. And it was like, unless it's a session or something. But what I'm trying to get across here is it was because it was Scorpio moon, and that makes me go into that really deep mode. But what I kept thinking is that guy might actually be struggling, and I don't want to kind of when someone's just being friendly, I don't want to kind of just sort of shut it down because it's not a normal situation. In normal situations, a random guy wouldn't have my number. I just don't do that. But that's awkward, isn't it? And it was actually so awkward that I kind of, um, yeah, I was just kind of like, oh my God, it's just so awkward. I don't want that happening. But anyway, the point I'm getting at here is I did the guy was to get the message. Like I did have to be like, look, unless there's anything else you're wanting to address about, is everything sorted with that? It was like, right, I can't. I think I was like, I need to go to bed or something. It was getting late, and I think, what the fuck? And it was kind of like, oh, and he just kept saying the same thing. It was really great to meet you, and it was really good to meet. And I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean about it. It's a bit of a gentler example of what I'm saying, but even that's not okay. Like, when I live by myself and someone's like, and I'm kind of like, right, because also like that guy could have got in trouble. I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just saying you really shouldn't do that. And anyone else that's maybe sort of, you know, done that too. As soon as I've sort of said like you're barking up the wrong tree, I've not said that you better all to fucking jump on YouTube and see what I'm talking about. I haven't done that. I'm not doing so I guess what I'm saying. I hope nobody finds this. But I'm keeping it honest, but it's kind of like and like I said, it has been a few people that have done that over the years. So but but that one fucking it really pissed me off. And actually I've said before, I was actually and I didn't really no, I'm not gonna lie, like I was actually like after it happened and all the next day, I was actually I was really angry at my twin flame because I was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I shouldn't be in this position where that's happening. Like I should actually be with the person I want to be with, and I'm not, even in this situation. And that was that it always sticks out to me because it was like it's so funny. But anyway, moving on. There's a little, but I think they made me say that because it's like your boundaries deserve to be respected. If somebody in that professional context keeps bothering you, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, you were maybe here thinking, why are you continuing this on when I've actually said no? Doesn't matter if you're single, fucking married, whatever, but especially, you know what I mean? It's worse though when somebody knows you're single. Like, don't contact me. And it's so awkward. I think I had to block. I actually had to block the guy. That's so extreme, isn't it? But it was just fucking awkward. But yeah, judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So I'm not liking whatever I tapped into there, but I really do feel someone got caught up with somebody quite controlling. And something you maybe have to have a restraining order or something. Or it could have just been something a wee bit more tame, like somebody's, not getting the message because it's pushing their luck. There's a fine line between someone pushing their luck and but if it starts to really fucking annoy you, whether you're a man or a woman, and you've told somebody no, I don't think everyone needs to be explained about that. It's dodgy territory. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, slave. That's the positive aspect. I thought femme fatale was going to come out. Anyway, for obvious reasons, I want to get out this. I don't know what's going on tonight, but that is the weird knots. I like to say weird is a good thing, but in this case, it's like weird energy that's coming through. And again, it isn't Aquarius. Well, it's Aquarius moon, but it is more because think about it. Aquarius moon is shock surprises, but this is shocking, kind of like, oh my god, I didn't think this person was that cray cray, or whatever word you want to input. And the song Madonna, every little thing that I said or do, I'm hung up on you. I mean, even that could fit with this. Someone's, unhealthily hung up on someone. Right. So, and that's the difference that I always like point out between twin flames and karmic partners. if somebody's your twin flame, they wouldn't be doing all of that. Like they would be respecting your boundaries, and to a certain extent, twin flames can push each other's boundaries too. But the thing is, you'll learn from it and you'll grow from it. If you fuck up and you let them push your boundaries for whatever reason, you might do it again, but a lot of the time you might just once and you're like, nah, fuck, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let this person come and talk to me. It's just, what's the point? But what I was just describing there, that is definitely a karmic, toxic, dangerous in some cases, whether it's a man or a woman, whether you're a man or a woman. And it doesn't need to be about love. It can be friends that don't take no for an answer. Somebody doesn't accept the friendship's over, you know. You've got a right to, people might not like it, but you've got a right to end the friendship. You'll have your reasons. And these are the people that can turn nasty and turn it all around on you. But even with things like that, the truth always comes out. And so, just stand strong in your truth. Family too. Sadly, I know loads of people that have had toxic family, gang up and spread loads of shit about you. And then, you know what I mean? And a lot of those people that we actually have to take yourself away from where you live and move it. It's just horrible. Fucking horrible, man. So I'm just they're making me stressful with this because I do genuinely have helped loads of people with this over the years. And it's all confidential and private. Whenever I share wee bits about people's experiences, it's been years ago, or it's people that are like, you can say it on, or they'll say it in the chat themselves. Quite protective, really, when it's really heavy stuff. But I have to talk about it and again, Mercury conjunct Venus and Scorpio, they've obviously got me to go there. What's a possible soul retrieval someone would need if they booked a session? I do 3 of these. I'm done playing games. So I think there's a masculine that's done playing games. You played games and you went silent on your divine feminine and you chose to dive in and out of relationships. So if you are that divine masculine, because I do feel I'm going to have a wave of unfortunately very sad men, like heartbroken, hopeless men, like those cards, waking up to who their twin flame is. And I do feel men, like women too. I always have women that are masculine, but I feel a lot of men waking up to how they've been manipulated by others or how they've lied to themselves and stuff. Somebody that's done silent treatment, played games, and whatever that other card said. What else would I be helping them with? I'm hopeful. I hope we can put the past and the bad times behind us and start again. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I hope they can forgive the error in my ways. I was naive and childish. Yeah. So with that combination and that let's relax card, and that just kind of goes on about I don't want to leave. I don't want you to leave me alone. What I do need is less time and less pressure. Can we relax and just enjoy this moment together? Well, that's quite the opposite of what I've just channeled with the karmic energy. But it's kind of like this person. Oh fuck, that actually makes sense. So say that was a guy that had a toxic woman like that. That would actually make sense why someone's like, can we take this at a slower kind of pace and what I'm comfortable with? And well, basically don't love bomb me. And like, but also because that person's like, I was naive and childish, however someone would say it, it's like fitting with those other cards. I was naive and childish for going silent on you, for ghosting you. Although I have to say, when people ghost you, there's all when it's on the twin flame journey, there's other stuff going on. It's a way of dealing with your emotions, and it's and believe people feel like shit when you come out of that, but it's not like it's not done to you. It's a coping mechanism, so which is very different from a narcissist, like using silent treatment to punish it. Although there can be fine lines with that too. But I believe if you've ever done that or you do that, be really honest with yourself. And where does that come from? You've probably copied and mirrored somebody. Do the shadow work, the shadow integration, work with a healer, and don't treat people like that, because think about it. If anyone's ever done that to you, it's horrible to be on the receiving end of that. And it's not nice it can't feel nice to be that person. But I believe, some people might do it and they don't realize they're doing it. You might be. But yeah, know the difference, because some people are going silent on you because they've set boundaries. They don't want to see you again. That's not, like I always say, this is really brutal, but this is my truth, right? If I am talking to somebody, I'm not giving silent. I don't want to ever talk to them again. Like, you know what I mean? apart from my twin flame, like it's yeah, when I've set boundaries and like I don't want it, it's there's nothing more to be said, and especially as well when I can think of things that have happened over the years, loads of too many different people, whether it's fucking professionally or personally, when there's never been a sorry in sight and I deserved one. um that's not somebody that's really learning from their mistakes. I'm not interested. So, but what would be the difference for me is if you know that you want to talk to somebody again and you're punishing them for a certain amount of time, it's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to them now. That's cruel. Don't do that. That's a really risky thing to do. Um, on the twin flame journey, it's slightly different because you do need to have separation and silence to go through what you're going through. But like I said, I do, it's kind of hard to sort of pick that apart sometimes. And that's why you need to communicate. Twin flames need to communicate when you're guided to, because so that you don't, because it's what's a good thing to point out is like think of all these horrible films I've just mentioned and stuff, or safe haven, because in that actually that's interesting. The guy that's the baddie is a policeman, so he's a high up authority in the little village or whatever it is, American village somewhere. And so everybody's just going along with him and believing him, even though they know he's a bit of a bully because he's the local policeman. And she's like kind of like a prisoner in her own home. And although she's single and been away from him, she's like he's keeping an eye on, like, when the hot guy, the Josh Duhamel or however you say that, Fergie's husband, but I think they're now divorced, or they're split up or whatever. He doesn't let it happen because it's like, that's the kind of person. It's like, I don't want to be with you, but you're not moving on. Toxic as fuck. Whether it's a man or a woman or a man, it's not okay. God, I just want to fucking tap the fuck out of this. There was something else coming in there though. There was something else coming in. Right, another somebody else. This is what somebody else could have on a session. Karmic. Oh my God. After me saying I don't like using the word karmic for, I don't just like calling somebody a karmic. I like to just add the word personal. I don't know why I feel so sensitive about it, but notice the karmic lessons in this situation. So yeah, somebody is dealing with a karmic person. The theme I've noticed this week alone is you could have just clocked that you were dealing with a karmic soulmate rather than a twin flame. Or like if you didn't know what twin flames were, you thought it was your soulmate and you're like, oh my God, this is like totally not, you know. And actually I feel a lot of people like the things I've just described, um, that might be what's helped you work out. This is not that's what was really important. I was going to say, if somebody's been at the hands of trauma of somebody, like I said, been at the hands, but if someone's had a lot of like abuse on any level from a toxic, like narcissistic or just abusive ex, and then you are actually real twin flames, but if the twin flame sort of anything they do like reminds you of like that situation, whether you're the divine feminine, like I just think that's all really, you've got to really watch all of that, because it's like you don't want your twin flame making an association with you being somebody that was like their ex, and sometimes that just happens naturally. I can think, I mean, I've helped people with that, and you know, sometimes weird scenarios are just created by the fucking devils and demons in the world, whatever. And it will, and it's people's trauma will lead them to be like, oh my God, that's just like what such and such done, or the way this person's acting is reminding me of that. And then, yeah, it always comes into breakdowns in communications, doesn't it? But yeah, God, it's really, really dark stuff that's coming through. So anyway, someone was dealing with a karmic person though, because that card just said karmic lesson on it. Right, for another soul retrieval, this is what someone might need in a session. The name Paul just jumped out again on the telly again. It's Jean Paul Gaultier. But like I'm telling you, and it's more like, although this can be relevant for other things with what I'm talking about, it's like this feels like a Paul in the spirit world, and they're trying very hard, to go. And again, I do know Pauls in the spirit world too, but because they keep making me say it so much, I feel it is not. Although I can feel the Pauls that I know in the spirit world, it's like it's someone else, and it could be whoever as well, but value your relationship. So, an abundance, yeah. So I feel I'm going to be helping somebody with something to do with finance, businesses, because that's what I've been talking about yesterday. Successful funding, yeah. And so maybe it's things like, because I like to research loads of things about business, like, I always keep my mind active with things, and it might be that like perhaps your business idea is something that you might be able to get funding for, and maybe you just don't know that there's lots of different kind of, because actually, never mind fucking saying that other people, I need to be looking into different parts of my other ideas, for that. Because I always think it and then I forget about it. But there's loads of things that you wouldn't even think that might, happily kind of be able to help you out to get started, especially if you're just getting started and stuff like that. But or even if you're struggling, so whatever. Right, so right. Now I'm getting towards the end, and also I'm actually quite drained by whatever I've just tuned into. But I'm honestly keeping people in my prayers, because that was really horrible, horrible energy. What's gonna happen, like, actually, why do I want to shuffle them again? Oh my god. Connection. So whatever you've went through, your connection is eternal and unbreakable. That came out in the last live stream. And to me that makes sense. If something's this dark, the love, the unbreakable connection that you've got has been able to help, whether this person consciously realizes it or not, the love and the connection that you have has been able to help whoever it is that's been on the receiving end of that to get through what they're going through. And that's why they want to, they want to lock it down. Commitment is the wee couple in the ring. We got that for the other one too. Commitment is an important factor to achieve a successful relationship. But I feel for some of you that's coming to you, it's because you let go. You let go of the need, and that's often when you attract in, this person. And that would be the song Fallen's just, oh God, that's interesting, because that could be about twin flames, but that could actually be like toxic too. Because it's like, I keep on falling in and out of love with you. If you're not noticing that something's a trauma bond and it's toxic. I can't remember if the lyrics are sort of more sort of positive, or I don't know, but I could see it can mean both. Sometimes it's best to let go and let the universe work things out in divine timing. Yeah. I think what's coming through here is whatever, a mixture of whatever somebody's went through, an illusion. Oh my god, this, I'm telling you, I'm being so dramatic, but this is Saturn retrograde in Pisces, the tough, very fucking tough lessons, and I don't even know what words to use for what I just tapped into, illusions, karmic illusions that people have went through. If you're not already waking up to the truth of, and again, this isn't everyone's story, but if you're not already waking up to the truth of somebody that isn't who they say they are, and this is not just love, and this is love, but love, friends, family, business, people you idolize, these are some of the realizations that people are going to start having throughout the rest of the year, and definitely when Saturn moves into Aries. Avoid the trap of mistaking a fantasy for a true soul connection. And I had a synchronicity today where it would only be the person that would be able to. And when I connect with that person, it'd be interesting to know what bits they're connecting with. But I just even know from having that conversation that I've had a lot of similar conversations recently where people are like, "Oh no, I know." There's like, and when someone's saying it like that. Beck last night in the chat was speaking like that. Someone I spoke to tonight was being like that. All the masculine energy, females in this case, but it can be male as well. There's something where it's like, oh no, I'm under no illusion now that person is not a good person for me, but I was. And listen, I've been there too. Like, I've even been under an illusion about my own. He is my twin flame, but I've been, fucking think the sun shines out of his ass, and then had quite a lot of rude awakenings, and like, oh right, fuck, you know, I know he's got a dark side, but I didn't think it was. But it's kind of like, Anyway, moving on. But it's more when I say that. But look what I picked up: phony, trickster, illusion, fairy tale. But what I was referring to there was actually the way I was treated before in a karmic connection. I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember. Sometimes I do that. I'm not going into that. But when you're under a weird fucking spell and someone's manipulating you, you're in a weird spell and someone's manipulating you. You come out of it and you're cringing. Even years later, 20 years later, you know. But the point is, be proud of yourself, you're out it, and ask for help from people that know what they're doing. And God knows why, but God chose me to be a fucking Buffy the Vampire Demon Slayer. I know why, it's in my chart. But um, yeah. Unfortunately, I've picked up this deck again. Um, why did I pick this up? I feel like, right, we'll see. I feel like something positive is going to come out of this deck. That is a fucking very bold statement. But there are good cards in this too. Like there's romance, there's only you. So we'll see. But what else do we need to know before I put this one down? What else do we need to know? Now, the song that's on right now is 16. 16 is a tower card. So something could be shocking, surprising. Towers don't need to be bad, but something shocking, surprising. I've got a feeling that whoever's this horrible story connected with, because let's face it, most of it's been fucking horrible, heartbroken, hopeless, all this kind of stuff. It's kind of make more sense to those other cards. This might be one of these ones where someone's actually protecting you from whoever they've been involved in the past. God, you couldn't really blame the person what I picked up. Same shit, different day, too late, sweet talk, boss daddy, and cyberbully. Now I wonder if that's like, you know, that's like a person in their ex. You're being bullied online or they have suffered from it. Stable, rich, business owner, CEO, BDE, if you know, you know. But it's kind of like, I feel that's a divine masculine energy that, you know, is being stalked, you know, by a karmic energy. Um, and this boss daddy or like, you know, the masculine wants to move towards the feminine, but they're like, is it too late? I've stayed in this karmic situation where it's same shit, different day for whatever reason. A lot of the time it's because you're not loving on yourself, you're punishing yourself. But yeah, is it too late? This person wants to come in and sweet talk you. But it doesn't feel like, you know, sweet talk you in like a toxic way. It feels like um well, I've woke up to the lie, you know, it's what else? I was too busy winning, I was in my ego. This person drained my finances because I got broke ass or your energy. And they stalk me, looking you up, researching you, studying you, getting info. But unfortunately, what I just said, especially because Aquarius is internet, this could be the person stalking the feminine. So if you've got any kind of personal social media, which most people do, unless you're like me and you're like, nah, I'll just go public. I don't like, you know, this is all I've got. Um, you know, or you work online. It's definitely painting a picture here of somebody from someone's past. Yeah, forcer. Forces things on you, forces their way in, uses force to get what they want. Secrets. Yeah, I think I've just spilled someone's secrets. You're someone's wish fulfillment, but when they're in their ego, they attracted somebody like this. So cyberbully. So I don't know why they keep saying cyberbully, but this person must be like addicted to social media or something. It feels like this is one of these ones where, like, you know, a karmic feminine, and I'm saying feminine because of the boss daddy, but you can change the genders. Like, it did feel like that the whole way through it, though. It felt more like a woman that's, but I know that somebody it could be a man, but it's like, um, I'd say this is somebody that's like stalking the masculine, but they're also stalking the twin flame. God, it's giving single white female vibes. Look, oh my God, I'm putting these down now. I just pulled the same card again and I put it back. Looking you up, researching you, studying you, getting info. So be vigilant if you feel like this could be you and you're on the receiving end of this. Round and round, cycles, triggers, and lessons, romantic love affair with bad reputation and hooked. Yeah, somebody's got involved with the karmic feminine at some point, and this ain't just. Oh God, I don't know what to call this energy I'm picking up on, but like sex fixed secret lover, bad reputation, and hooked. It's somebody that is bad news. A spiritual hater hates on your spirituality, light, magic, and power. We're putting it down now. I've had enough. This is definitely a very dark energy with demons, and I mean like literal demons. Everyone's got their own name, but like demons, attachments, um, evil eye, and whatever it is you do. I don't think this is somebody you can reason with. God, well, that's delightful, isn't it? No, right. So let's just, yeah. So I don't know that there was any positive cards that came out there, but right. So what's going to happen? Tell us about the nice stuff, because this could have all been stuff that someone's dealt with in the past. And like I always say, if this resonates with you, this can't be everyone's. And who knows why they've made me go on about this one for this long, but it always ends up making sense to someone. Like, you know, somebody tells me 6 months later, whatever, I'm just showing up. So take it with a pinch of salt. Like, that can't, but you would just know. I feel like this, you've went through this if this is yours, or you know somebody like this. And it doesn't need to be that you're a guy and this is a female ex. It could be that you're same sex, or it could be that you're the woman and you've got a guy like this. But what I always say is, if a guy's got a woman like that, like say it's a male divine masculine and they've got a karmic female like that, it means that the divine feminine at some point also had a karmic male like that at some point, and it mirrors. It doesn't always mirror at the same thing. It can mirror much later. So or in some cases, it might be that you had a friend. It's something, you know, something will be mirroring though. Um, I think this is just to give you a heads up. If you're like a divine feminine energy and someone it's so that you believe them, because it's pretty wild what I'm tapping in. Yeah, look, and I do feel this person is coming forward with big plans, because we had commitment, now we've got engagement. Your love life's ascending to a higher level of commitment. Be open to accept divine guidance in your relationship. And that's why it feels like the past, because if someone's coming forward with that, then, you know, and look, let your friends help you. So this is just, what the fuck is this? It's like someone's friends have had to like circle round them to like heal them from the past. Recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine in marriage. Oh my god. Oh my god, though. Sorry, I was really like, oh my god, that's lovely. We've got engagement and marriage. But right behind marriage, we've got illusion. So I touched on it ends with us. And notice how nobody's in the chat too. I was clearly meant to be just watch this. See if so many people start arriving, because this is the time sometimes that, typically speaking, before it go in the winter, this is a good time to go live. It was so that I could this I didn't, you know, I didn't sort of foresee this coming. It was going to be that dark. But in It Ends With Us, if you've not seen it, it's a brilliant film, like I said, and I didn't finish what I was going to. It's she basically, you know, she knows. He says, like, you know, I'm not interested in love. I'm just interested in sex, and so he basically tells her how toxic he is, and he is toxic. Like, not everyone that wants to live their lives like that, but this guy's toxic, and and then so she tries to, you know, it's like trying to make a hoe a housewife. It's equivalent to whatever the guy version would be. She tries to make him a commitment, and he's not. And so it goes all types of wrong, because long story short, they go out and he just, all the signs, the red flags are there, more controlling, you know, all that. And she's in love with this person from the past. It's like a twin flame in that film. And then he's got this thing about, like, he keeps asking, you know, he'll be like, where did you get that tattoo? And the tattoo is about the guy from the past. And yeah, anyway, long story, she ends up marrying him, and you think in the film, you're like, oh, although it's just a film, you're like, what the fuck? But it's because she's in so much denial, and she's in too deep, and that's what that feels like. And unfortunately, in some cases, somebody could have woke up to the illusion after committing to this person, and so I pray not, but it feels like it is the case for some. Um, but yeah, let's just chuck the illusion card away. But that is, trust me, that is Saturn going direct, and it's definitely when it goes into Aries next year. Avoid the trap of mistaking a fantasy for a true soul connection. That card came out twice on this. A marriage of souls is a union of two divine counterparts blending together. It feels, for the most part, because we got engagement and marriage, it feels like a separation is ending, you're missing each other, the masculines following their dharma, the cosmic heart energy is overwhelming, strong, but oh my god, for a small select amount of people that may have went through whatever that is, cherish when you get to the twin flame connection, because it's just, god, it's making me want to burst out crying or something. It's really horrible. It really is like that film, because I love that film. Illusion. I just do it. Look, someone's putting an illusion behind them. They're freeing themselves. It's time to take back control of your life. Someone was caught with a very controlling, narcissistic energy. I would hazard. I think whoever's resonating with this, I think it's like you've obviously seen something like that You've been around something like that for to have not recognised the signs. Um, like you've had previous trauma that you've been disassociated and you've like felt a familiarity. I can never say that word. Like being involved with somebody to that level, and it's like the more you heal, that's when people wake up to the illusion. So that's why I don't judge yourself if you did fall into that. Or I've met so many people of all different ages, and like I said, it might be hard to believe, but I've it was in my younger years, but like I definitely had some pretty horrible experiences myself. Right, okay, so that have all made me the person I am. So forgiveness emanates out, but you know, is what it is. Right, so let's just hear from the masculine before I move on to do the new earth cards, and I'm getting the fuck off here. I want to kiss you. That's my favourite card in that deck. I want to kiss you. I'm frustrated and yeah. Please don't pay attention to my moods. I allow my physical world to affect me more than it should. I get frustrated in my life and I know it needs to change. I'm working on this. But yeah, it feels like there's happier times to come after. God, it really does feel like I've just read a film, doesn't it? Where is that deck? And also the song that was on was "What Do You Mean?" I can't sing it. It's Justin Bieber. Na, 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 na. So I can't remember the words, but in case it was relevant, I just picked up the rest. That's for me. I pulled that earlier on the membership for me. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest for obvious reasons. Oh yeah, that is definitely for me because I'm a Blu-ray and I just picked it up. Blu-ray rest, rest Blu-ray. So if you feel like you're a Blu-ray twin flame as well, it's one of them things you'll just know if you are. You'll just tune in. You'll get all the downloads. You'll have all the I feel you just know. Um, rest Blu-ray because a lot of Blu-ray twin flames are the ones on the front line, like what I'm doing. Not all, because no, I don't watch too many people, but like I don't see any of the others ones. Maybe some of the ones I watch mention it, but yeah. But anyway, right. What do we need to know? Dove of peace. Stay in the heart. All is well. Be at peace. That's very similar to the cosmic heart energy. Stay in your heart. Be at peace. Especially if you are the twin that didn't go through that and you feel that your twin might have went through that. There's no way of knowing until you talk, unless you do know or whatever. Um, Stay in your heart and be in your peace, and that will help this person get out of oh, oh my god, that's crazy. That's what I used for the title, and I just picked it up again. Cosmic heart source, source of all true home, just be heart connection. Yeah. This is like a very strong this is like a wave of twin flames where yeah, it's just a very, very strong heart connection. And your love has helped them through what they've went through. And I must stress, I have to keep stressing that all the dark bit of that isn't, you know, everyone's, but that's fucking common sense. But I'm sorry for whoever's does resonate. Presence, pineal activation, let go, relax, right? There's nobody here. So I've obviously been kind of like, spared spending too long in here. Oh shit, yeah, I did say I was wanting to come off about 8. I feel like I want to shuffle one for the masculine, one for the feminine. And sorry if you catch me just as I'm going. Sometimes people come on just as I'm going. You're just gonna have to wonder whether my hair turned out all right. I think, like I said, I think I'll take out more. But I was joking. If you couldn't work that one out. Yeah, tomorrow I'm having a day off. I'll be doing my house, tidying up these cards, and just resting my voice, and then I'll be back to the live stream probably about same time today, probably about tea time again on Thursday, and then I'll be available for sessions on Thursday as well. Although I think Tania is one of them in the morning, but I will have room for someone else. Don't think I'm going to work on Friday, and then I'll be back to work again next week, Tuesday to Friday as normal. And then following Tuesday, Friday, and then that'll be me done, and we'll be doing a challenge, and then it's fucking Christmas. Crazy, isn't it? So, for the feminine energy, ooh, oh my god, that would be one that like when I don't know where I've put the I never use the guidebook for things, but I wanted to for that. Oh no, there it is actually. Impeccability. So right, have impeccable standards, but we'll just see. 28. So the 28th of this month, which is actually when Mercury comes out retrograde. It really is the 29th, but that's when Saturn goes direct as well. Wait a minute, is 28? What day is the 28th? Friday. So it's really not far away at all. That's why this week's a bit crazy. The week Mercury goes retrograde and the week it comes out of it are always nuts. And that is this week. Right. Now is the time to be impeccable in your responsibilities, relationships, and home environment. Gather your discipline and integrity around you like a sacred cloak. Oh my God. And there's me going on about integrity. No matter what it takes, maintain your power, intent, and focus. Pay attention to details. Somebody needed to hear this. I'm impeccable in my thought, word, and deed. Yeah, I would make sure that your words are aligning with your actions and that you're moving with integrity, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. Masculine, and then I will say goodnight to you. And if you're a member and you're watching this, I'll catch you on Thursday, hopefully. If you haven't had your cards, or I'll sort you out next week. But I hope to see some of you in sessions as well. Joy. Oh, that's lovely. Oh wow, that's even more lovelier. So the masculine got joy. 30. So the 30th of this month is significant. Oh my God, that's soon too. So the 30th is Sunday. So you see this coming out. This is like forward movement for some people, not all. So I don't know who's that for, but forward movement because Mercury has went direct and Saturn has went direct, and there's a bit of forward movement. But remember, we're still in the shadow for a while. But yeah, joy, and then the next card after it was delight. So I mean, I don't think there's really a need to read it, but just to be fair, I will. Look, beautiful artwork on it. So if the masculine isn't already in joy and delight, but fuck, that's quite sad because when you piece it together, everything I've just tuned into. No wonder somebody's in joy and delight if they just escaped this fucking hellhole that I've just. Sorry, but that's what I just tuned into. Someone was living a living hell. Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of. I always say this, but like when I get, but they did just. This is what they do. They flashed up. This reminds me of a message I channeled like 3 years ago or something, and it was, I know because I kept showing the card where it's the deck. Oh, I need to get that deck again, but not right now. But it's a card where it's a guy with his hands on his head and he's chained to a bed, and it's meant to be like stressed out. It's meant to be like the Nine of Swords kind. It's an oracle card, but it's a really hard hitting image. And that story was all about somebody that was basically was trapped in a situation they didn't want to be trapped in. And it was quite brutal, and it was actually similar. That I wasn't sitting in the same room, but I remember it was one of the ones where it's a white wall behind me. I recorded it in the membership, and it's given the same kind of energy as that. So if you can find that one, I think it's on the thumbnail. But yeah, anyway, I hope I hope this happened to nobody, and I pray that people are protected from this happening, but being around anyone like this. But this is why you got to fucking be sure of who you're involved with. Celebrate and have fun. Embrace life, yourself, and others. Say yes. Soar to the clouds and let your doubts dissolve. All is well. Now, we've had two cards back to back that have said all is well. Louise Hay's famous quote, one of my favourites. So, it's simple. Your purpose is to live and experience joy. That's all that's required of you as a soul. Whatever your circumstance, there's always something that can bring you delight, and what you put your attention to on will grow. Oh my God, that's just, the same message keeps coming out. I said it on the shorts that'll be released while I've done this too. Be careful where your thoughts are going. So anyway, I'm getting tired now. Joy and ecstasy flow through me wildly and freely. Wildly and freely is what Aquarius Moon's about. I am going because I've pushed my voice. I will rest it. Don't worry about me. And I'll catch up with some of you hopefully on sessions on Thursday, at least someone I know of, and hopefully some of you next week. And I'm really, really excited to do that challenge. And yeah, see you when I see you.